Oh my God, it's so wonderful to see you guys. All right, so my name is Lori Ann Spagna. I hope you guys know me. I don't know, who here has only heard of me through Unity Church? Who's brand new to me? But you're not brand new to me. I remember your face, right, from last week? No?
No, I would have been here. I didn't know about it.
No, oh no, not you. I'm sorry, the woman right behind you. No, okay, so can you raise your hands again if you don't know me from Unity? You're only finding out about me from Unity. Okay, so that's actually a lot of new people here. So welcome. That means I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me, so you can better understand what we're doing here. Okay, so again, my name is Lori Ann Spagna, and what I'm going to say, just a little bit about my background for the people who don't know me and who are new to me. For more than 20 years, I've been working with people and animals to assist them in aligning with Source. And what that means to me, the way I translate that, is through the process of energy healing, sacred energy healing, activations, which activate that which is already within us, dormant activations, and clearing out all egoic aspects of ourselves that keep us in separation from that source, that divine source, which is actually within us. Like Jesus said it right, we are the embodiment of the divine, but we don't know it, in a way. So, for more than 20 years I've been working with humans and animals that way. I am a bona fide psychic intuitive, although I don't use my psychic gifts the way some psychics do it. I don't like project or tell you your future or any of that, because I'm more interested in assisting us to work with the divine aspects within us to co-create the future we want to experience. And I use my psychic and intuitive gifts more to assist you on your journey and to assist you with your animals as well. And of course I'm an animal communicator, so that's a huge part of what I do as well, to actually act as a translator. Do I know you? I know you, right? Oh, hi, I know who you are. Hi, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. So I act as a translator for animals, and I'm a channel. I'm not really a trance channel, although it's becoming more trance channel, which means I'm semi-conscious when I'm channeling. So that will very likely happen tonight, where we get channeled information that comes through. So these are all the tools I use. I read the Akashic Records. Anyone familiar with those in the room? Yeah? I'm an Akashic Records teacher. I teach psychic development. I teach energy healing of different kinds, vibrational energy healing, and of course animal communication and telepathy, and a whole lot of other things in that whole genre of the mystical, the metaphysical. And really, if I were to sum it up, what I've come to know about myself in the past 20 years is that, and this is very out there esoteric, but that I'm a star seed. In other words, that I'm seated here on the planet to assist humanity. As many star seeds are here. We're from the star family races who are benevolent. Anyone not familiar with that? I know a lot of you are. Anyone not familiar with that concept, the star seed?
Yeah.
Anyone not? Okay, that's all right. So we have a lot of benevolent star family races. Some people would use the word extraterrestrials. That's not what we call ourselves. They're benevolent star family races that are family. They're our family members. And we are their family members. And we'll learn more about that tonight. But a lot of us were seated here as humans in human embodiment to help humanity get back on course, because we've gotten pretty far off course, if you haven't noticed, over the last year or so. Anyway, that's my story, and I'll just say a few more little words about that, hopefully not too long. Is that in about 10 or 12 years ago, I had what I call an induction experience while I was living in Maui. And what happened was my star family, who are members of what we call the intergalactic nations. You could use the word abduction, but I use the word induction, where we reunited on a starship. It literally physically happened. It wasn't a dream state. I wasn't in an altered state. I literally was teletransported onto a ship, and a lot of activations were happening, a lot of awakening codes within me were going on, really weird esoteric stuff that I didn't fully understand, but I kept asking, what is this, and I always got, you'll know when the time comes, and I get it now. It's all about what I do. It's everything being reawakened within me so that I can do this work. In any case, there's nothing that I have that not everybody else has these things. Everybody has our unique gifts. And everybody has these within us. It's just a matter of us realigning with our own divine aspect of source. And the more we do that, and the more we clear out this egoic aspect of ourselves, the more we awaken it within us, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're here for tonight. Yeah? Make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, you're so pretty. So let me give you the flow of this evening so you know what you're in for. About the first hour to hour and a half, we'll do like content and Q&A. Then we'll take like a 5 to 10 minute break. Then we'll do about a good hour of really intense energy healing, which will be part of a meditation. But it's not a meditation where you leave your body. It's a healing meditation. You stay in your body. We're not floating anywhere. We're actually anchoring in the divine within us. The only thing we're clearing out is those egoic aspects. So that's really it. The first hour and a half, it's kind of like a no-holds-barred discussion, what's going on planet Earth. You can ask for guidance or clearing or healings on things. Actually, let me rephrase that. The first part, the first about hour and a half, it's really no holds barred. And you can ask for any insight or support on anything, as long as it's not so personal that it's, doesn't help anyone else. Let's just keep it so that it's helping the group. And then the second half we'll do with the healing. You can ask for healing on anything. So this is what I was going to ask you. Is there anyone in here who has very specific physical or emotional or mental issues, like illnesses, diseases that they're dealing with? Okay, good. So I want you to make sure you raise your hand during the healing, because you'll see when we get into the healing meditation, I'm actually pretty conscious. We're talking through it. It's not one of these floating meditations. It's a healing meditation where we're actually working with benevolent beings. Whoever shows up, and I know who shows up, I know who's coming tonight, but lots of them show up. We have star families come in, we have goddesses, angels, archangels, our own higher selves, like all kinds of benevolent beings, depending on what's needed by the group. So you'll see it's dialogue, and you can ask for what you want, okay? So we'll do the healing on whatever's right. And so that will be the second about hour, and then you'll leave here hopefully we'll come back so we don't feel too spacey. The last few minutes we'll just do final wrap up. Sound good? We'll have a break in between. Okay, good. I just want to say one other thing before we get really underway, and that is, if you're not already on my newsletter list, if I don't know who you are, I don't share this with anyone, and I don't need your phone number, but if you will give me your name and your email address, and make sure you write clearly, then I can email you some really amazing free gifts, not to mention the link to tonight's event, because I'll get this on YouTube, hopefully, I'm intending to. So just let me stay in touch with you, right? And that helps me to, I'll tell you some of the free gifts you'll get is, you can pass this around, or just know this, I only have one pen with each clipboard, so please keep passing. But I'll give you some great free gifts about learning how to communicate telepathically with your animals, and accessing your own higher self-awareness, and developing your intuitive gifts, like really great free classes that I give to people who stay in touch with me. Sound good?
Yes.
Good. Awesome. All right, I want to thank you again for being here. I'm so excited. So, all right, I'm going to do a kind of like an overall basic of just to set the flow of the content we're going to discuss, right? Overall, because what we're talking about here is anything going on in your life that's going to help you to more navigate your reality and assist you in aligning with your divinity within you, whatever that means to you. But let's just set the stage in case some people don't know. So are you familiar? Who's familiar, not familiar? Let's say, who's not familiar with the term 3D and 5D? Anyone not familiar with those terms? Okay, I'll go into that. Anyone not familiar with the terms, the shift of consciousness? Okay, you guys are aware there's a shift of consciousness going on, yes? All right, so basically what's been going on, this is how we can set the stage, is we've been existing prior to 2012, really prior to 2011. We've been existing in what we call a third dimensional paradigm, yeah? So third dimensional paradigm, that's what I mean when I say 3D. So the third dimensional paradigm is really all about living in separation. So in the third dimensional paradigm where we live in separation, we are separate from one another, we're separate from source. We live in a reality where we're controlled, dominated, and manipulated, whether we realize it or not. And the controlled, dominating, manipulation is through an energetic vibration that you tune into in this third dimensional reality.
Okay.
So this third dimensional reality, the energy that we tune into that controls us, dominates, and manipulates us in this reality is called what?
The matrix.
That is the third dimensional reality. There's a matrix. It is a matrix that you have to free yourself from, just like a net or a trap.
Yeah.
That is really true, but that's not the energy that controls us. What?
Fear.
Fear. So in this reality, everything that goes on is based in fear, domination, manipulation, control. And if you look at that, the reality that we've been existing in, you know, there's cause and effect, and all the cause and effect in this reality is based in consequence, fear-based consequence. If you don't pay your taxes, you will get arrested. If you don't go to the doctor, you will get sick. If you don't get an immunization, you will get in trouble, or your kids won't go to school. I could go on and on, but we don't need to spend all our time there, right? I mean, it's basically, you know, if you tune into the television, it's a great example. You know, it's a fear-based programming in there, and those energetic frequencies, they basically are dense, heavy energies that are based in fear. Yeah? Makes sense to everybody. Anyone have any questions about that? That's the reality we've been living in, and come on in, we just got started.
Okay.
And in that reality that's controlled based on fear, it's part of the third dimensional paradigm, and the reason it's set up that way, for the most part, is to have an experience. We created an experience based on separation, and out of being separate from source, and separate from one another, and separate from our own inner consciousness, it is a very scary place. It's very scary to not have divine source consciousness. It's very scary to be so absent of true love. We're all searching for love in this reality. We think we find it in another person, right? But really, that's a scary place. And this kind of even scarier thing is that there were some beings who basically figured, oh, let's really control this reality, since we'll just like really feed off this fear and this energetic vibration of fear. So we'll just amplify it and increase it, because that's actually what they feed off of. And these are actually what I call, I'm not the only one who calls them, but a negative alien agenda. Yeah? Because there are extraterrestrials in this reality too. They just don't reveal themselves. They might reveal themselves as humans. They might reveal themselves as presidents. They might reveal themselves as popes. They might reveal them, but nonetheless, they have an agenda of control, domination, and manipulation. And that it almost doesn't even matter, because the objective of 5D, this is what I'm talking about, 5D, the objective at this timeline that we're on, this reality, is to free ourselves. That is, everyone, whether they're alive, whether they know it or not, if you're alive on planet Earth, this includes animals, by the way, the objective of this third dimensional reality is, at this point in time, which we're saying like in the years from the 60s, mid-60s till present and into the future, the objective is to free and liberate ourselves from this fear-based reality. That's why so many people are alive, because everybody wants to get out. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So I get it sounds esoteric, but the idea of how do we free ourselves is what I'm going to talk about. Okay, but first let's talk about 5D. So 5D exists here now too, and it's also controlled by energy. The energy is different. What's the energy that basically controls 5D?
Love.
Love. Love and peace. Love and peace. Those are energetic frequencies. They're vibrations, and you need to be vibrating in harmony with those vibrations. You need to be embodying, I'm saying you, the way we free ourselves from here is to clear everything, every aspect of our consciousness. That includes our beliefs, our belief systems, points of view, perspectives, judgments, ideologies, programs of the mind, manipulations, entanglements and snarlements, karmic contracts, karmic agreements, soul contracts, soul agreements, on and on and on, that keep us entangled in here. And most of it's completely unconscious, because this reality is a reality based in unconsciousness. Make sense? So we have to free ourselves from that, liberate ourselves from all that stuff. It's not an overnight, it's not a pill. And we need to, at the same time, simultaneously, be replacing everything we clear here with energies, frequencies, and vibrations that are based in the fifth dimensional paradigm. That is love-based and peace-based and overall unity consciousness, because in this reality we understand connection, unity. We vibrate in harmony with that, that all beings are aspect of a creator, a divine source, the original source of creation. However we define and or understand that. Make sense?
Yeah.
So the objective of life on Earth right now, free and liberate ourselves. We have to free and liberate ourselves. The way we do it is clear out all this vibrational, energetic density of fear-based stuff, and at the same time, be anchoring and reinstating that which is love and peace and joy-based. Make sense? For the greatest good. And this reality, by the way, means with harm to none. So you can't take your baggage with you. You guys have probably heard that. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, so that is kind of like the platform. Now, I could go on and on about this, but anyone could watch YouTube videos of me, and you could hear a lot of stuff. I mean, I try not to, I don't think I say the same stuff over and over again, but I'd rather open it up to you guys and see what's most important to you. And I love questions. Please don't feel shy, because it's better if I don't just, I mean, when I go to expos, it's all a presentation, and I just talk the whole time, but this is more like whatever you guys need. So, yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot that I need, but you mentioned pet communicator, so that like, whoop, you know, just that I throw that out there.
Yeah. Okay, let me first go to when you say there's a lot that you need. There's a lot that we all need. We have needs. So in this paradigm, how do we get our needs met?
Compassion, love.
Well, in this paradigm, the way we tend to get our needs met is from someone or something outside of ourselves.
Right.
So if we need help, we go to a therapist, or if we need medical support, we go to a doctor, or if we need money, we go to a boss, a job, a bank, a husband. Someone said, okay, so this reality, I call this reality outside in living, because everything outside of us is what keeps us alive in this reality. And we blame everything outside of us, too. Everything here is a blame game. The reason your neck hurts is because your pillow was bad or the bed was hard. It's not because you're thinking too much or trying to consider too many things or having a hard time figuring something out. Was this, was that? Or, let's see, it's the reason you have a problem with your family members is not because you yourself are not being loving, kind, accepting, forgiving, or clearing your own entanglements. It's actually because they're assholes or jerks, right? It's their fault. The reason you don't have enough money is because the economy is bad or because the banks are screwing you over. That's outside in living, right? We blame and we project and we get our needs met outside of us. That's what we do in 3D. In 5D, this is part of the shift, and it's not an overnight shift. We learn to get our needs met from within us. And the way we do that is we go to source. We go to source and that alignment within us. And yes, non-physical beings can certainly help, angels and benevolence, but it's your higher self and your own divine intention, your own navigation, your alignment with your highest and best mission, knowing that your needs, whatever you need, you're going to make sure they're fulfilled because you understand the way energy works here. You have to learn how energy works here. So this is the difference. Here we live inside out. We don't blame the pillow because the neck hurts. We actually start looking within ourselves and being like, wow, I might be over-considering this. Like I might be over-analyzing this issue. Or we don't blame the bed because the back hurts. We're like, oh, I'm putting my needs behind myself. I can see my back is communicating with me. See how everything changes here. So we don't start saying, oh, I don't have any money. We start saying like, source, what's my worth? What's my value? I'm gonna need this amount of money for this or this amount of, I don't even like the word money anymore because over here there's a whole new wealth thing coming out. I mean, Bitcoin's not going away and all forms of Bitcoin is definitely not going away, but that's a whole other story. All the new kinds of wealth and prosperity is gonna be coming up here. In any case, we start looking within ourselves to discover how we can co-create that, right? With harm to none, always over here. So, I just wanted to address that because you were talking about the needs. You know, we have needs. Now let's talk about this because over here it's energetic. The thing with animal communication, what's going on with the animals. How many people are animal lovers in the room? Okay, wow, got it. That's awesome. That's my shtick. The way I started in this business, this work, whatever you call it, is that I wanted to be of service to animals on a global scale, and that was my mantra for years. Hello, come on in. Welcome. Take a seat anywhere. Who's got the clipboard, by the way? Okay, you can keep passing that around. So, come on in. So, yeah, I wanted to be of service to animals on a global scale. I didn't know what that meant. I thought I was going to be a really great dog trainer. That was my dream, and the animals had another choice. They had another decision to use me. So the thing is, animals are here on planet Earth actually helping humanity to awaken. Because in 5D, the language that we speak, especially as we merge with other beings in the non-physical realm, and other star family races, which we are going to be an intergalactic planet. That is absolutely, there's star beings in the sky every night of the week now. It's very easy to spot them once you're vibing in here. But the key to understand is that before we can really do that, we have to understand the universal language of love, which is the language of energy. That's the language that animals speak. That's the language they've always spoken. So even here in 3D, where animals are in their own form of separation and fear-based experiences, they're still energetically conscious. What do I mean by that? They're speaking a language of energy, which means they're the ultimate empaths. That's my thing. I always say this. The animals are ultimate empaths. What's an empath? They're feelers. I'm an empath. I mean, you move through your life feeling everything. You can feel everything. You can feel emotions. You can feel I can feel people's body pain, body ache. I know what's going on. I know I can scan their body and see what's going on in their body because I'm a medical intuitive if I choose to use that. Animals have all these abilities, and cats are able to see and experience interdimensional awareness from other beings. They help actually clear entities. Do you ever see pictures of cats with green eyes? Really green eyes? It's usually because they have entities. They're clearing entities. They feel everything in their environment. So when the human is having an experience, whether it's emotional or mental, they're overthinking, or they're having an emotional drama in their life, something they're emotionally upset about, or if they're physically upset about it, something physically is going on in their body, which is the result of out of alignment thinking and emotions, the animal's going to take that on and feel it. Does that make sense? Because they feel that energy, and their role in life is to teach you about energy. So they're going to take it on, and they're going to express it in some way, shape, or form, either as a physical issue or as a behavioral issue. And it's going to be amplified, exaggerated, for you to see it. Does that make sense? Yep. Now, in fact, this is the whole reality. Our whole reality works this way, because there's not a person in your reality that's not mirroring some aspect of who you are, or what you believe about yourself and what's going on. The animals just do it in a heightened way with more deliberate intention, because with more consciousness, because they're working to help humans. Does this make sense? So ultimately, as we learn to understand energetic vibration, our animals and ourselves are going to be healthier. The point that I'm making, and I'm going to make sure I've gotten to more of this for you, but is that, let me say this, because this is flagging. This is a lesson that animals teach. What is the root cause of every illness and disease?
Stress.
That's a good answer, but it's not the answer.
Misalignment.
Misalignment, but I'm going to go more specific.
Emotion.
Emotion, that's true, but not the whole answer.
Stagnation of emotion?
That's true, but not the whole answer. So you're all right, and everyone's right about that, but here's the root cause. The root cause is vibration. So there's a vibration. Now, what is the vibration? What is the vibration of the disease? The vibration of the disease is a thought that repeats, a thought pattern that basically creates a belief system that forms an emotional response, and it happens over and over again until the body vibrates in harmony with that. So if I'm thinking over and over again, I hate this person, I hate this person, I hate myself, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, that hate is going to think and play itself out. How dare this person, how could this person do that? Or my mother screwed me, I hate my mother, whatever it is, that thought of hate, now I'm going to have an emotional response of hatred. That's a vibration that gets resonated through the body, and what is it going to cause? Yeah, let's be specific. Cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Cancer is repressed anger and hatred, period. It is, I mean, a victim over here in 3D doesn't want to hear that. A victim does not, because in 3D, remember, we're victimized. Someone else did it to us, and we're in third dimensional reality. We're the victims. It's someone outside or something outside that caused it. We're not at the root cause. We're not the cause in 3D. But in 5D, in order to get here and anchor into love, you have to start to see yourself as the cause of everything. You are the cause of your own disease, but you're also the cure. Because you can actually, with that consciousness, realize, oh my God, I don't actually need a doctor. Not to say that you don't. But I'm just saying, the solution is within you. Do you understand? So this is what animals are teaching, because when an animal takes on a disease, he's actually showing you exactly what's wrong in your thinking and your emotions. Does this make sense? Okay. Is that helpful?
Yes, I was also had in mind something more specific.
You want some telepathy information? Okay, so let me say this. I'm not going to do one-on-one readings. That I just can't do that with so many people in the room. Let me just ask you this. If you ask me a specific question, let's see if we can get it really quickly without having to take 20 minutes, because usually it's much longer than...
I had a bird fly away.
Mm. Can you give me the bird's name?
Peaches.
Yeah. And so you're wanting to know if the bird's okay, or you're wanting the bird back?
Okay. I want to know if he's
Okay, so let me first say this, since we're talking lost animals, okay? I know that you're sad about that. I'm sorry. Let me first say, because I like to use it so it helps everybody. This is my thing. I like to help everybody in the room, right? Here's how you will never lose your animal. Let me first help everyone with that. So you never lose your animal. Do you want to know how you will never lose your animal? Anyone want to know that? Yeah. The way you will never lose your animal is every day, not every day, but as often as you can, you say to that animal, we belong together. In this lifetime, we belong together. You belong with me and I belong with you. It doesn't matter how stressed my life is, or how upset I am, or what's going on, we belong together. You belong with me and I belong with you. So when that happens, the animal actually knows that. So what's going on in your life, and this is why animals always get lost, but I got it already. Can you tell me your name?
Sherry.
Sherry. There's been a lot of upheaval in your life and a lot of uncertainty, a lot of move and a lot of change. Did you recently relocate?
It happened almost 5 years ago.
Okay, so when that happened, were you in the process of relocating? Okay, but there's been a lot of movement and change when that was going on, yes? See, so it's hard for even your recalling, but here's why animals get lost. Animals get lost. I've been doing lost animal cases so long, I know. I don't even do them anymore. They get lost because the human is having upset and turmoil in their life, and they're thinking in their minds over and over again, I don't know what to do, my life is such a struggle, I don't know what's going on. And the animal, there's only 2 reasons why animals get lost. This is the main one. The animal thinks, I'd be better off, the human will be better off if I'm off their hands. So somewhere in your life at that time that had to be going on. There's a second reason why animals get lost. Birds are a little different, so I'll say that too. But the second reason is sometimes they do want to peacefully cross over, and the human either can't handle it, or the human will do everything they can to keep them alive, and the animal wants to cross over. I don't get that with your bird, though. I get more that you were in a challenging time at that time. You were deciding about relocating, moving, or struggling, straining your life. If you remember back to that time, does that...
Well, I mean, you know, without getting into detail of the incident, but it wasn't like, you know, he busted out of my house to go fly away. He was in a harness and a leash, and a sudden noise unexpectedly occurred, and it startled him, and he bolted, got out of his harness and leash, and kind of took for the skies.
But so let's go back to inside out versus outside in living, outside in versus inside out. Over here we think it's not like he bolted, it's not like he just got out, but over here we understand that happened because of energetic vibration, sacred contracts, soul agreements, and the overall soul lessons that I was meant to learn. So, I mean, to go into the story, I need a half an hour with you or 20 minutes to do it. I'm not doing that kind of, it's not a psychic reading night. I could do that, but that's not how my mission works.
I just want to know if he's okay.
I mean, he's certainly okay. He's okay.
On the other side.
Are you knowing that he crossed over?
I would like confirmation, but I'm pretty sure.
I know that he's fine. That I know. His consciousness is fine. I'm asking him, does he have a physical body? He does, but not the same. Not the same physical body.
Does that mean he's still alive?
No, it means he's reincarnated already.
Oh, okay.
I just get that he really wanted to be free.
Yeah.
It wasn't you, but there were soul contracts and soul lessons.
He was with me for 19 years.
Yeah, all right, so that's a major life journey there. So the real thing, and this is something that can be done in healing, like when we do the healing tonight, right? You can even ask, I mean, there'll be a lot of requests. We get to whatever we can. What we can do is instill within your consciousness everything you're meant to receive from higher consciousness. This is what's truly transformational about this kind of healing, because you get the download, so your left brain's not still trying to figure it out. And you get higher guidance on it. Higher consciousness comes into your consciousness. You don't need me to translate. But I'm here as a facilitator to assist you to download consciousness into your consciousness. Then you just start to know the answer yourself. You start to know, you have more awareness about it. Does this make sense?
Yes, I was looking for confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, I get that your bird wanted to transition. There was a lot going on in your life, and yeah, I hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know it's never easy to lose an animal. All right. I want to talk, I think I'm going to go, does anyone else want to bring anything up you want to ask?
I had a question, but I feel like you talking about everything, it's like at the beginning, like kind of clarified. Just having an illness that I've been dealing with. And,
what's the illness?
For 10 years, was progressively getting worse and worse and worse. 2 years, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease. Got treated, did everything. I feel like I'm at this point of I'm healed, but I'm not. And so
yes.
I've been working, Connie, who's my neighbor and friend.
Yes.
So she's been kind of helping me through all this. And so she's like, you have to come here.
Oh,
so, I feel like I get what you just said. I get it. I get, like, it's kind of that, it's the higher, it's my thought and my consciousness.
But let me give you the Lyme disease thing. So when we're talking about a virus, and I can give you this psychically because it's really clear. It's not just this lifetime. So, not to go into the whole other lifetime thing, but there's infinite dimensions of reality, and we exist in them. And what we're doing is reunifying those aspects of ourselves back home into us, right? As we heal and resolve our lifetimes, we call those versions of us from other parallel realities back home. We'll do this tonight. But first we get the healing from Divine Source, clears all that programming. You reunify, that's a soul reunification, and you heal stuff from other lifetimes, right? This is based, like I can see you in Great Britain, in England, or the time of cholera type of thing, or some timeline like that, right? So what's going on with a virus? A virus ultimately is self-attack, right? Our immunity is down. So we look within ourselves. What is the belief system where you've attacked yourself and you're so vulnerable to attack that the belief systems in there at the root cause fundamentally are telling you somewhere like, I'm vulnerable to attack. I don't have the defenses to protect and or stand up for myself. I feel insecure and or vulnerable. Okay, those might not be the precise words, but that is virus.
Yeah.
And when the virus is attacking your own immunity, that's what that root cause energy is. Now with Lyme disease, there's an added aspect because Lyme disease is perceived to be as incurable in a way.
Right.
So there's an added belief system in there that's entangled in there that's saying, nothing will work for me. Nothing I do works.
Yeah.
This is not just from this lifetime, you understand. So the reason you feel healed but not healed, which is so beautiful for you, thank God, because you're conscious enough to just not write it off and treat it as if it's buried under the carpet so it can resurface in 4 years. You're actually willing to go deeper. That's beautiful, right? That's consciousness working for you. That's your own higher self saying, no, let's get rid of it. Let's really clear it. But the thing is not only is it entangled in that, think about this. What's going on in the collective, and I can tell you for sure you're working with the collective consciousness because the collective has this belief system. What do I mean when I say collective?
Universal mind.
The whole of humanity.
Yeah.
So the whole of humanity right now is looking at issues of viruses and immunizations, and we're working through this on a collective level. Should we force ourselves? Should we make? Over here, you're forced. You're forced, your kids are forced to take it. And these immunizations are very harmful. There is a conspiracy over here. Right? I don't spend a lot of time talking about conspiracy, but I'm not about denial. I'm a truther. So there is a conspiracy. Those viruses are being done by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It's really true. And they test those viruses. It's kind of interesting that their computers are the ones that get viruses. That's kind of interesting, right? So the collective is working through this. They are working through their issues on this. And through the process of working through their issues on this, what's our beliefs? What do we think? Should we force ourselves? Should we not force? Because over here, understand, they're not over here. The collective is still hanging out in 3D land, separation. They don't come to Unity Church on a Friday night, right? So, should we do this? Should we do this? What's right? What's wrong? Over here, everything's wreaked with right and wrong. What's right? What's wrong? What's good? What's bad? That's all judgment stuff. So you, as a unique individualized being, are actually helping the collective as you work through it for yourself with consciousness. So as you're healing and resolving this, you're healing it not only for yourself in other timelines, you're healing it for humanity. And many beings are. When beings who are more conscious take stuff like this on to heal and resolve, they're working through for the collective. Those are sacred contracts. Those are lightworker contracts. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So it also means that in addition to all those other aspects we just addressed, you also need to clear all the contracts, the oaths, the vows, the agreements, etc. ad nauseum. And that's why so many of us feel, how many people in the room feel like you've done so much on something and it's still not done? Okay, yeah. The reason we feel that way is because there's so many layers to get to this stuff. And if you are one of the people, which typically we are if we're in a room like this, who's clearing it for your lineage, your bloodlines, your ancestors, that also means that's an added thing. You're carrying, you're towing the line for all your ancestors in a sense. We heal the wounds of our ancestors. Yeah, so that our future children don't have to. This is what this timeline is. It's a timeline where the collective of beings who are waking up are doing the heavy lifting for the bulk of humanity. So that's part of what's going on there. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So again, when we get to the healing part, I won't remember it, but I'll say raise your hand and whoever we can get to will do the clearing. And we make all the clearings work for everybody. Because you see, even though you might not have Lyme disease, thank God, not everyone has that, everyone can relate to that feeling of I've tried everything, I've done everything. So we start clearing those belief systems and programs and patterns out, that gets lifted. So even if the Lyme disease itself or some other dis-ease doesn't get cleared tonight, something gets lifted and cleared that makes it easier to clear next time around when you come back or when you do more work. Make sense? Yes. And this is why, by the way, I just want to say, massive brainwashing over here about take a pill. We're all carrying, I want to talk about some of the implants that humanity carries. Every human being on the planet is carrying implants called the take a pill implant. I call it that. It's my word. I've never heard anyone else use it, but I call it that. It's the belief system that it should be done overnight if you just take a pill. And part of the conspiracy, really great example of conspiracy, is in those religious things that you see on TV where some person on a wheelchair comes up and there's a preacher or a minister and he puts his hand on the person, the guy stands up in 2 moments, hallelujah, I'm healed. You seen those?
Oh, yeah.
That is conspiracy. That is not how healing works. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm saying it's not the norm. The norm is we do the inner work. We're here at this time to clear 26,000 years of density and separation and duality of 3D living in unconsciousness. So that's why everyone's feeling this intensity. I mean, are you guys feeling this intensity? It's not fun. I'm feeling it. I mean, I had like some really intense, you know, it's not like anyone's getting through with a clean ticket here. You have to come in very pure to anchor in 5D. Okay, so makes sense? Let me talk about a couple of the other implants, which implants actually are relatively easy to clear, but most people don't know what they are. So let's talk about sexual misery implants. So sexual misery and gender confusion implants. These are implants by a negative alien agenda implanted into every human being. They create pornography addiction. They create sexual identity issues. They create people wondering if it would be better to cut off their penis. That's being given to people over here as a new normal. It's not normal. And I'm not telling you to judge this, nor would I ever say that. I'm not judging it as wrong or bad, because over here everything's okay. It's an experience. But it's not normal. It's gender confusion, sexual misery programs that are operating on the unconscious level that would make someone say, I need to either slice off my breasts and grow a penis or cut off my penis and create a vagina. There's a misery program in there. So gender confusion is also, you know, gender identity issues. That's all programs in the unconscious mind. So again, I'm not saying to judge people or make it wrong or bad. I want to be very clear. But I am pointing out that these things are programs of the unconscious mind that we're unaware of. And in this third dimensional reality, we're being fed it to be normal. We're being taught things are normal that are not normal for humans. We're not meant to go through. Another program, and I'll just say this one last one, and then because this is a real trigger one. So please forgive me if you're going to get triggered. This is there's a lot of them, so I could spend like hours on them. But there's one called the crucifixion implant. So, anyone familiar with this term? Crucifixion implant actually is a curse on humans, designed to make all humans, feel cut off from their higher knowing. Crown of thorns. The thorns cut you off from your higher knowing, cut you off from your ability to create, and cut you off from your connection to Mother Earth, the ultimate healer. Mother Earth heals everything. 5 minutes barefoot on the earth, your blood is improved under the microscope. Your blood shows healing. 5 minutes barefoot on the earth. That's amazing, right? Mother Earth is a healer. But that's a crucifixion implant. That's only one aspect of it. That's not where the trigger is, right? The trigger is as it relates to this concept of Jesus Christ being crucified for us as our sins, and all that is not the highest truth. No, not really true. You've been lied to. So okay. We need to clear this stuff out, right? This is what this energy healing does. All right, anyone else? Who else wants to bring anything up? Did I trigger anyone? Lourdes?
Our children, I don't know if I'm unique or not, who within this rebellion that they have to do as they grow independent as a teen, is attached to 3D reality, attached to, I'm so weird because everyone else is normal, and she loves me, she values me, but don't talk to me about any conspiracy theories or anything like that.
Okay, can I share on that?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's another program called Divide and Conquer. Divide and Conquer is one of the most prominent programs out there. Divide and Conquer is a negative alien agenda program designed to keep people in separation. So Democrat, Republican, there is no Democrat, Republican. There's only one global elite, and they create divide and conquer. So that's all a scam. Divide and conquer, white and black. Divide and conquer, USA, Russia. Divide and conquer, children and their parents. In the United States, we've been taught that you have to go out and live on your own. You're supposed to separate from your parents and become independent. But most older ancient cultures, that's not how they live. They stay in a family unit. So this is partly divide and conquer going on there. But there's another aspect, and this is kind of specifically for you, but also just in general. One of the things, okay, I've got that other thing too. So there's two things coming in for you, and I just want to store them both. Yes. One of the things that happens for light workers who are waking up as we wake up, however we define ourselves, is that we want to share it, right? We have a need to give this. So you're learning about conspiracy and all these things, and you're wanting to give it to your daughter to help her. But that is part of our lesson, is we still have to honor free will. And over here, everyone has the right to be completely unconscious. That is the right here. So not only do they have the right to be unconscious, they have the right to lie, they have the right to cheat, they have the right to steal, they have the right to be ignorant, they have the right, whatever. And we have all been there, because we're coming out of that. So we have to really honor someone's free will, even if their free will is to not know, to choose to not know. So I get that that's part of your daughter's lesson with you, your lesson with her, to allow her to not know if that's her choice. And I found in my own life, because I did that with my family, like I so wanted them to know. I so wanted them to learn about those pink packets that they still use for their sweet and low. Like those are toxic neurochemicals to create Alzheimer's and brain dysfunction. They're deliberate, that is conspiracy. But my parents were never going to accept it from me, and I realized I had to allow them. I had to love and bless and honor their choices as equal, real, and valid, even if they weren't my choices. That's a lightworker's journey. We have to really embody that, because you can't be in 5D if you can't do that. You know? The second thing for you specifically, but this is true for everyone. Who else has kids in the room? Okay. Hi, come on in. So every kid who grows up at some point, welcome. Every kid who grows up at some point has to reject their parent. That's part of growing up. They must reject their parent. The way they have to reject their parent in order to find their own adult, inner adult. So the inner child and the inner teenager, we all have an inner family, right? We all have an inner family. When we're at odds, it's because our inner family is arguing. We have an inner child who wants our love and our care. We have an inner parent who wants to be a good parent. We have an inner rebel or an inner warrior. We have an inner free spirit who just wants to be a free spirit. We have all kinds of, we have an inner sage who's our inner wise one, who gives us inner guidance when we tune in. And when we bring in harmony all of our own inner archetypical patterns, we're in harmony with ourselves, right? So your daughter and every child, when their inner child starts to become a teenager, and they're now playing with their inner teenager, but they're also playing with their inner rebel, and they're also playing with their inner free spirit, but they haven't made peace with any of those yet, because they're just children growing up and learning about their own archetypical patterns, usually in a kind of unconscious way. Those inner family within them are wrestling for power. And they certainly aren't going to struggle with you, the external parent, for power, because they're having this inner battle within themselves. And in order for them to find their inner peace and harmony, they need to reject you. They have to find it within themselves. It's part of a sacred rite of passage for a teenager. The challenge for parents is you already have all this great wisdom, you love them so much, you want to guide them and lead them, and meanwhile, you're trying to give the best you can, but they're just going to keep wrestling. So what I've learned from guidance on this topic area, as I've counseled a lot of parents, actually, in sessions, is that, what the guidance comes through, what gets channeled through, is usually something along the lines of honor their path, and just keep telling them, I'm here for you when you're ready. I'll always be here for the best, for you to the best of my ability, and I honor your path and your journey. And just continually love, honor, and accept them as divine beings. And what guidance always said on this was like, the more you actually let go and let them, the quicker they'll return home to you and recognize that home is with you. in the heart with you. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
So, I don't have any children of my own, but I have, like I said, worked with a lot of parents, and it's always been channeled through that way, like let them do what they need to do. Yeah. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Can I come to you after I just,
Sure.
that's all right, I'll come right back.
You wrote something about jumping timelines and so on and so forth, and do you have any tips for those who can sense that and feel their connection with spirit, but also still seem to be stuck in a patriarchal paradigm?
Yes.
And how to remain grounded and not feel like a reed wafting in the breeze when you leave your body for protection?
Yeah. Okay, that's a lot right there. Let's start with timelines. Does everybody understand this concept of timelines? I think there's probably, it's a pretty complicated topic, so let's address timelines. Timelines are where a collective group of beings agree to have a similar experience. And through that collective agreement, that experience plays out, and the souls, the spirit, the beings going through that experience somehow work through or resolve their issues, or just have an experience. So right now, there is one primary timeline. I'm sorry, let me back up. There's three different major kinds of timelines. One are personal timelines, right? And a personal timeline is mostly unique to you. So you as a personal person might be working through money issues, for example. So you suddenly are having experiences where everybody around you's broke, and there's no money, and there's lack and limitation. Or you might be having an experience with alcoholism, right? So everyone around you's got alcohol, and people are addicted. There's addiction issues. You're working through that. By the way, that's another program. I didn't go into the addiction programs, but that's another program. Okay, so those are personal timelines. And on your personal timeline, you're working through your personal issues. And you'll meet other people who are working through their personal issues, but they're completely individual to them and to you, right? Now, then you have what's called the universal timeline. Universal timelines happen on the collective. So, for example, to the best of my knowledge, Fukushima happened on a universal timeline. In other words, everybody at that point in linear time on planet Earth and in the galaxy experienced that. There was no one who didn't experience Fukushima. We all experienced it in different ways. That's personal. That's a personal timeline. For example, someone living in or near Fukushima, around Fukushima, they had one experience, and someone living in the United States had another experience. Plus, if you were on the West Coast, you had a different experience than if you were on the East Coast, etc. Make sense? So that's a universal timeline. A universal timeline is something where everybody in the collective who's alive at that point in linear time is experiencing it. So right now we have one primary experience on planet Earth, and that is what we Lightworkers call an Ascension timeline. Even if people don't know that an Ascension timeline is going on, they're still, if they're alive on planet Earth right now, they're going through it. They just don't know it. They're not conscious of it. That's the primary timeline, and it is a universal timeline, yeah? How people experience it personally, it's up to them. They might be going through it consciously, they might be going unconsciously, you might be having awakening experiences, sometimes feeling like you're flying out of your body because you're becoming more of a light body over here, you're letting go of your baggage, you start to feel like you're floating around, you get things like vertigo. Make sense? Okay, now, but let me say the other thing about the third kind of timeline. And this is the most important thing to understand, actually, about timelines. It's what we call tertiary timelines. So a tertiary timeline, these are kind of, in a way, I'm going to use the word dangerous, but not fear-based dangerous. What I mean is they're the most subject to interpretation, and they can take you off course. So someone gets on TV, some credible scientist, and tells you that the world is going to run out of water by 2020. And that is his interpretation. And everybody who gets on that timeline is having a tertiary experience. They could potentially create that in their future. But it's not a universal timeline. Also, someone who's a credible scientist, I'm giving scientists because they seem to take a lot of credit for predicting the future, even though they're not spiritualists, but they play the role of predictors anyway, right? You're going to run out of food. Oh, we're going to run out of space. There's going to be too much overpopulation. These are predictions scientists make, and they try to grab you onto that timeline. It's a tertiary timeline. It's not the truth. It's not the truth of humanity. but you could go off course on it. Does this make sense? People were believing that the waters on the West Coast were polluted after Fukushima, and they were buying into that. And then people who were playing with Dr. Emoto, who knows Dr. Emoto and the water doctor?
Yeah.
Loving and blessing and ho'oponopono, the water. They have a totally different experience. The water's clean. The water's blessed. There's no more pollution. Almost all the Fukushima radiation's gone. How did that happen? Totally, that's a tertiary timeline. Because it's not universal. Does this make sense? So very, very, very important to understand. You don't want to give your power to a tertiary timeline. Last night I opened up an email. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it was in my, I have an inbox that I almost never check. And somehow I get on lists there, you know. And it's somebody emailing something like, this is what the richest global elites are doing right now to protect themselves from world disasters about to happen. Stock up. And I'm like, delete, unsubscribe, have your little timeline. That is not. That is a fear-based timeline where they're working out end-of-game scenarios. By the way, that's another program, Armageddon scenario. It's called an Armageddon program, implant, by a negative alien agenda who wants to keep people in a fear loop. Tertiary timelines are very often fear-based. So you want to be conscious of them because you can get pulled into them by someone who's very convincing that that's going to happen and that's the fate of the world. And you have to remember the universal timeline, the primary timeline for humanity, is one where every being on planet Earth gets to awaken to the divinity within us, where we anchor into 5D and beyond, because there's much more way beyond 5D, but you have to anchor in 5D. Unity, consciousness, peace, and love. And where everyone gets to awaken, and where the future of humanity is based in peace and love and consciousness and abundance and prosperity and health and well-being, the end of all disease, the end of all torturous kinds of experiences, suffering, and death as we know it, death as we know it. So, make sense? So don't get distracted by tertiary timelines. Okay, does that help a little so far? I know there's more to your question. Yeah, okay, that's not exactly what I asked. So you're asking, how do I not get pulled into that and anchored into it? And how do I not feel like I'm trapped by it? Is that right? If that's not your question.
It's not my question.
Can you rephrase?
Sure. Well, I'm trying to keep it as general as possible, but as I can't though, I just have to speak in the eye. Sometimes as I go through my day, I just become very ungrounded.
Yeah.
I have to spend an inordinate amount of time in nature.
Yes.
And yeah, it's hard to stay in that peace, love, and joy towards myself and towards my life because it seems at very huge odds at living on this planet at this time.
And could I ask you, when you say you become ungrounded, what does that mean to you? Like you start floating out of your body, or you get upset about the reality? Or...
No, I'll get cold, and I'll notice that I can't think clearly. Things look different. Yeah, and I can tell I'm kind of spacey.
Yeah. Okay, so my question to you is, those are ascension symptoms, right? You've heard this term, ascension symptoms, yes? And so the reason ascension symptoms happen is because your vibration is shifting. So your body and your entire experience feels so different because you're no longer anchored into all this density. And your consciousness is becoming more expansive.
Right.
So yeah, you're not as focused. You're not a linear mind anymore. You're shifting out. Over here, it's linear. Everything's linear. 1, 2, 3. Give me the 7 steps to communicate with my animal. Tell me 3 steps to free and liberate myself from all my... That's all linear here. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Now you're becoming nonlinear. This is a nonlinear mind. But you're going through this transitional period. It's very uncomfortable. So what I would invite you to do, number 1, is to resist nothing. Stop resisting it. Start allowing it. You know, for years I've had people in my lightworker circles and in my courses and workshops say things like, you know, like I'm so busy, I'm floating, or I'm this. It's like, okay, allow it, because that's part of the transition. And to the extent that you can just get comfortable being uncomfortable, you will get comfortable in that new state. You're in a new frequency. It's a lighter frequency. So your mind is more open. You're not just using only a left brain. Your right brain's opening. Your pineal gland and pituitary gland, your heart center's opening. So you're not going to feel that way. And that's why you have to go to nature all the time. And thank God you have your go-to. You know that is what you need. That is absolutely the right thing to do, to go out and be in nature. This 5D paradigm is not based in working hard. It's not based in, which is like, that's one of my challenges. It's not based in overdoing. It's not based in the slave driver programming. It's not based in force, domination, or manipulation. It's based in, right now in this moment, I need to go take care of myself and get out to nature. Right now, I need to go swim in the ocean. Right now, I need to breathe and relax. Right now, I need to take a nap. Right now, I need to watch some TV, mind-numbing TV. Like, that's okay. Everything here is based on, right now, this is what I need to do to take care of me and love me with harm to none. Harm to none. So just get comfortable in this. Stop fighting it, because everything we resist, it just makes it more of a wrestling, struggling match for us, that we're in this like opposition. We're our own inner opposition when you're being up-leveled to a whole new vibrational realm. And it is uncomfortable for a little while. But as you let yourself get comfortable in the discomfort, you'll find that you adapt. That's what this evolutionary stage is. We are evolving.
And if someone was working in a very patriarchal system,
Yes, well, that's your challenge, isn't it?
that would be antithetical to where I'm trying to go.
Right. Well, but still, you're in that system, and the objective of freeing and liberating ourselves here, we cannot free and liberate ourselves from this third dimensional reality by fighting or struggling, wrestling with it, or judging it. So the reason you're in that is because your soul has your soul. So let's make a distinction between soul and high self for a moment, a little slight diversion. Soul is the aspect of us that's going through all of our lifetimes, all of our progressions, and all of our experiences, and is trying to find its way home to source, right? High self, inner self, is the aspect of us that's already connected to source, knows itself as source, an aspect of source. I use the word source, creator, God, the divine, infinite love, whatever you want to call it. And that aspect is leading the soul home. Human ego is the embodiment in the physical form, right? The personality self that's also going through and acting, come on in, as kind of a participant, right? Make sense? So your soul is going through that experience because part of your own liberation involves you working through that. You can't free yourself from it if you're judging it or in resistance or reaction, even though it is the very antithesis of where you want to go. The way you're going to free yourself is by harmonizing with it, loving and blessing it, honoring it, and step by step, in other words, it's not a pill, little by little, continually looking for the light. What is the light? Your joy, your happiness. Your joy, your happiness is your liberation. Liberating yourself from that which you don't enjoy, but still blessing and honoring and not fighting or wrestling with it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Is that helpful? Mm-hmm. A little bit more? Mm-hmm. And also, I totally get that there's more receivership there for you. Because like even with the feedback, it's like, mm-hmm. So there's an aspect of you that's still in the judgment of it. That judgment's going to entangle you more. Just becoming more of even a receiver is going to allow you, as you receive, you're going to open up to more that's available to you. Whereas if you're in sort of this kind of tightened space of not sure, maybe, yes, right, no, that kind of energetic frequency is part of what's entangling you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I hope that helps. Okay, well, I had a question over here, and then we'll come back here, and then we'll probably start to move towards taking a break.
Did I hear you correctly before when you said that we cause our own disease?
Yes.
Okay.
I know that's painful to hear.
I've had diabetes for 46 years. Got it when I was 14.
Yes.
Did I cause my own disease?
Well, it's in your lineage. Yes, it's in your lineage.
No, it's not.
It is in your lineage. I'm sorry.
Nobody has it.
It doesn't matter.
Unless maybe somebody...
I know it's in your lineage. I hear it. I've got it. But let me tell you, just because it didn't play out, let me tell you diabetes. I know diabetes well.
I know it better than you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
I've lived it. I've suffered through it.
I'm sorry.
And diabetes is caused by your immune system attacks your islet cells which produce insulin.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't ask my I didn't ask my immune system to go attack my islet cells. I was 14 years old, an innocent child.
Yes.
I can't believe that.
Of course.
Let's talk about it. I want to hear your views. I'm open. I
So,
also had cancer.
sorry.
And I didn't cause that either. It's because I have a gene in my family, it's called Lynch syndrome, which predisposes us to uterine cancer, which I had, and other cancers. So, let's talk about it.
All right, so let me first say, from a position of just offering what I have to offer, you know, you always need to take what you like and let it sit with you. And the other thing I need to say to everyone in here is what I'm offering is a range of vibrational consciousness that's not based here. So it is going to challenge belief systems that are based here. But if you allow yourself to receive, that's what I'm saying, what ends up happening is just by being in the presence of this vibrational range of information, energetic vibration, it helps to lift you out of that, right? Even if what's challenging your belief systems or your points of view or your perspectives, even if it's challenging you, by allowing and being receptive, it will assist you energetically, right? It might change you in a week or a month from now where you start to realize something has changed and you might not even link it back to this here now moment. That said, so I'm not sure when you came in the room or if you heard what I said about cancer, but let's stick with the disease in general. And part of what's coming up here is, first, there's unmet needs of a child, right? A child needs to be loved and honored and respected. All the things an adult needs. We all need this. And if you don't get that when you're a child, you will somehow develop whatever you need to get it. So if there's a belief system in there, I have to get sick in order to get loved. That's part of what I'm picking up. That happens.
Love when I grow up. I have
Okay.
great parents.
All right, so let me make this more general because I can see. I
I
definitely don't want to get into an argument or a
No,
debate
no.
about it, but because that's part of what's going on. There's like that energy there. But let's say this. Diabetes at its root cause from lineage is the energetic frequency at the vibrational root of it is I have to work so hard. I have to work so hard. There's no joy. There's no sweetness in life. So there's unconscious belief systems. We don't have them consciously because if we were conscious of it, we could work through it. The body wouldn't need to take on the disease. Do you understand? Body takes on a disease as a way to communicate with the soul who's going through the experience. Hey, this is your belief systems. This is your energy. This is your emotional state. I need to mirror this for you and communicate with you what you're thinking and feeling, both consciously and unconsciously. So the body takes on the disease. Now, the reason I say it's through the ancestors in this case is because you were such a young girl. It wasn't something you did in this lifetime. It's linked to your lineage of belief systems. So the belief system, in this case with diabetes, is somewhere where we had to work so hard and there's not enough sweetness and joy in life. Why cannot the body process insulin? Can't take sugar, and insulin spikes and drops because the body can't process sugar. What is sugar representation of in the mystic's perspective, in the healer? The sweetness of life. I need sweetness, but I can't process it because there's no sweetness in life to be had. So the belief systems on the foundational, unconscious level need to be cleared, healed, and resolved on that level to resolve. That's only one aspect of diabetes. Because the other aspects are all work, no play. All work, no play. Now, that might not absolutely be your truth or your belief, but that is a belief system that anchors diabetes into the body. As a healer and as someone who cleared diabetes from my family lineage, I'm very aware because it took me many years to clear the diabetes from my lineage. Now, the other aspects of diabetes are typically also related to candida and other forms of bacterial growth in the body that's inappropriate, inhospitable to the body. So what is the body's inner natural bacteria, which we often try to give ourselves probiotic to create a more healthy gut system, right? Then the inner system is inhospitable to natural bacteria. So what is the inhospitability of my embodiment? When you've got diabetes, there's an aspect of something is inhospitable within me. I am not hospital person, inhospitable. What does that word mean? It means, you know, forever, whatever you mean, like easy to get along with, or
Not invited.
opening up to, so that's a layer of diabetes because it's resisting sweetness and joy. So you get this overgrowth, come on in, of this unhealthy bacteria that also is part of the problem, not the root cause, but an aspect of it. Does this make some sense? I get it.
I can eat sweets. I can eat sweets.
Yeah, but does your insulin spike and you have insulin issues?
I just take insulin. I have a pup.
Right,
That's a myth that you can't eat sweets. You just can't eat them in large quantities.
right.
And,
Well,
you know,
it's not that you can't eat sweets. The thing is and I understand, I'm going to ask Source what Source will have me say to you, because I realize the information that I'm providing, this is very, very progressive. And the idea, my role here is to help people to anchor into 5D. So I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure when you came in, but the idea is in order to get out of 3D, we have to come out of the belief system that we're victims. But in order for us to really be sick and have a disease, we have to believe that we're victims. And just based on what you were saying was, there's an aspect of that like, you know, I didn't do this to myself. That makes you feel, the belief that you didn't do it to yourself is a victim belief. I'm not saying you're a victim, and I'm not judging you. I'm doing my best to bring some clarity to this, that if we have a belief system that something was done to us against our free will, we feel victimized. So every disease that's going on in this reality, there's an aspect of victimization that needs to be cleared in order for the dis-ease to be cleared. So these are just a few layers of diabetes, and certainly when we get to the healing part, if you'd like, you can definitely ask for some healing on that. The one thing I can say, and I know you mentioned a separate disease, cancer. The other aspect of this too is understand with the healing part what's really beautiful. I'm just a facilitator here, translating and offering what I can. But the ultimate goal of the healing is to provide source consciousness to you. That has nothing to do with my interpretation. I might channel through information, but we really do, I do my best to just allow you to hear the translation of what Source wants to provide. For those of you who know me, you know how it works. And then you receive that consciousness, and it will give you what you're meant to learn and what you're able to receive and heal and resolve within yourself to give you greater clarity, right? Because a disease, ultimately, here's what I can say. Every disease, no matter what it is, it's serving a purpose. It's not there really to harm you. It's there to help you, whoever you are, whatever it is, somehow learn, grow, heal, or resolve something. That is the purpose. So if this I know will, I believe will help. If you can, in your own private time, in your own private thoughts, ask your own inner knowing, your own inner guidance, how has this disease served me? What are the gifts of this disease that have helped me in this life? By just even asking that question and exploring that within the privacy of your own mind, that will help reveal more to you about this disease. Because again, it's the same concept of if we're in resistance and reaction to it and judging it as wrong or bad, now we're just having a wrestling match with the very thing we want to get at. And we're taught in our reality over here, in third dimension, we're taught you have to fight diseases, but actually that just entangles you further with them. Rather than receiving what awareness, what gifts, how it has served you, that's a beginning to letting it go and evolving past it. So I hope that's helpful for you at least. I will say the root cause, the cure to cancer from an energetics. The cure to cancer is forgiveness. Self-forgiveness, but not just self-forgiveness, it's forgiveness of whatever person, place, thing, group, organization, God, entity, whatever it is, anything and everything that needs to be forgiven in your own unique individual reality. So cancer is a plea for forgiveness. So I hope that helps too.
Okay, I won't say any more.
Yeah, let that sit with you, because I think for now that's the best I can offer you at this now moment.
Lori,
Yes.
in its own way, Because we could talk about children, and on just on this one topic, you can go on and multidimensional and all of that. So is there, within all of that topic, the notion of a soul's journey, of that, you know, sometimes some beings come here, they're here for a day, or they're here for years, or they're here for all of these journeys. So aren't there other aspects that actually is beyond even, you don't want the word money, but even that word and concept of disease, it's actually beyond all of that also?
I'm not entirely sure I understand your question. I mean, because what I heard you say was, some souls just come for a day, and isn't there something beyond money? Like, I don't think I understand your question. Can you?
The concept of disease, even that very word.
Yes.
To relate it, what you said, well, I don't even like to use that word money, because we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, because our new system's not about money. Our new system is a form of energetic exchange and...
Right, the currency.
And it's a currency,
the vibration. Right. So within that very word and concept
of disease. Yeah, well, that's why a lot of people use, yes, thank you for saying that. That's why a lot of people use the word dis-ease. Because it's not a disease, it's a dis-ease. You have a dis-ease. You're not at ease with something. And, you know, again, the root cause of all dis-ease is a vibrational misalignment that's based in our own thinking patterns and our own belief systems and our own emotion and how we regulate our internal environment. So, based on that, when it's ancestral, we've basically taken on belief systems from our ancestors. Typically, when children or babies are born with a disease, they're taking it on from their ancestors to heal and resolve it for the lineage. So, anyway, did I say that? Did I address that? Yeah, I agree with you, for sure. Anyone else?
I just want to shift everything back to when you were talking implants.
Oh, you know what I need to say? I keep getting guided to say this, and I just have to say this, is the DNA. So who here has heard my spiel on the DNA? Like, the DNA is one of the most important aspects of the awakening process. It's one of the most important aspects. So let me say this, and then I can come back a little bit more to that. We, in third dimensional paradigm, we have how many strands of DNA? Two, right? And in third dimensional paradigm, you're basically a victim of your DNA, right? I mean, you basically, you know, you either have breast cancer, or you have this, or you have that, and it's in your DNA, yeah? In fifth dimensional paradigm, how many strands of DNA do we have?
12.
At least 12. Actually, we have way more than that. But science, since we can use science as a credible, we still give science credibility here. Even in 5D, we give science some degree of credibility. We know science has validated there's 12 strands of DNA. 10 of them have been what? Dormant. So beyond the first 10 strands, science has not yet been able to validate that. Why? Does anyone know? You've heard my spiel on this, you've heard it. They can't see it. They don't have equipment. They don't have a microscope to be able to see the other strands that go up to at least 144, 244, or even beyond that. They're etheric, they're non-physical, they're light. So they're activated, you know, we're not going to go past the 12 strands tonight, but they're activated by light and frequency, okay? So over here in these two strands of DNA, in third dimensional paradigm, the strands of DNA, the first two strands, represent everything you've been told and believed from your ancestors. And they also represent aspects of what you experienced in other lifetimes. You yourself, if you had a virus in another lifetime and you died of cholera, and that made an energetic imprint, it's going to be stored as a record in your DNA. What do we say about the Akashic records? Your DNA is your Akashic records, by the way. Anyone who likes the records? I teach the Akashic records. Okay, so the records of your soul's lineage are your first two strands of DNA, and that includes all the records of your ancestors as well. Okay? Now, in 3D, you don't really have much say about it. You can either, now if you start to listen to some more progressive cellular biologists like Bruce Lipton, for example, we start to become aware that we have some say over how we can activate it or not activate it by what? Our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions. That's what I've been saying all night. So even Dr. Bruce Lipton, one example of an amazing doctor, and there's many others like him, A cellular biologist studying cells and how they respond is validating exactly what I'm saying here in a spiritual room, which is that our thoughts and our beliefs either turn things on or activate or turn things off, right? Now, but that's still 3D. What he's teaching is kind of 4D, what I call 4D, because 4D is consciousness. It's a realm of consciousness. It's a non-physical realm, but it's limited by your consciousness, or to some degree it's limited by your vibration, right? Now, the next 10 strands of DNA that we know are real, those store up, what do they store up? They store up all your superhuman abilities. So that's how we know everybody's psychic. Everybody's psychic.
Yeah.
Everybody can talk to angels. Everybody's a healer. That's why we know 5D, the future of humanity. There is no more disease. I know it is true. I know with every cell of my body and being, I know with every aspect of my consciousness where humanity is going, and it's not that far from here, linear time. There is no more dis-ease because we understand that at the root cause it's vibrational. As we come into vibrational alignment here, and as we activate our dormant DNA and our dormant potential, we're all healers. We are all healers. It's just a question of how much can we clear out of this, get our ego self out of the way, anchor in here, use it to serve and support and assist others in the highest and best ways with harm to none. Yeah? Okay, so the next 10 strands have all of our superhuman abilities. And the thing is, the vast majority of humans on planet Earth have not even begun to activate beyond the first 2 strands. Because the healers, like part of what we're doing in here today is clearing out stuff from the DNA. But we're also activating the other 10 strands. And as they come online, we start to realize how psychic we are. We start to get messages from our guides and our angels. We start to really tune into our own higher self. We know our body better. We can actually view our own interior. We all become medical intuitives. And you can do a deep dive into your own body and see what's going on in there. And you're not in resistance or reaction, so you don't tense up just because you see something black in there. You're like, oh, let me just love it. Let me just put some love in there. Oh, let me just clean that out. Because you're so conscious, you know you can do it. Right? That's what's in the next 10 strands. And then beyond that, you know, when you start activating up to 10, 11, 12 strands, you're able to access other dimensions beyond these dimensional realities we're talking about. I can access 12th dimensional consciousness because I know I have 12 strands activated. You start knowing how to activate dormant things in other people and in yourself, things you know you didn't even know were possible. Right? So this is why it's so important at this time to clear, heal, and resolve the stuff in the first 2 strands, which is the ancestors. We're all healing the wounds of our ancestors and our other past lives, parallel lives, because there's no such thing as a past life. If you want me to go into that, I can go into that. And then activating what's within us that's dormant so that we can really anchor into 5D and beyond. So we can have all these amazing benevolent experiences. And so that as we awaken, by the way, as we're clearing the stuff out, our ancestors literally are benefiting. They don't know it necessarily. My parents don't necessarily sit and think about why my father's 85 years old, running a multi-million-dollar company, jogging every other day, still living the healthiest life, like having a great time, drinking wine, going out to dinner every night. He's not sitting there going, oh, my daughter's doing DNA activations. You know, thank you. Like, that's funny, right? But my mother can't. The same thing. My mother's 85 years old. She's living like a fabulous life. So they benefit from when we do this. But not only do they, the whole of humanity does, because understand, over here under the law of love, I'd like to say a little bit about the universal laws, but then we got to take a break. Under these universal laws, under the law of love and the law of one, which is a universal law, that basically says on some level, at the highest level, there is this oneness, that we're all part of that one source. There is one source. Under this law of one, when you're clearing out your DNA for yourself, you're clearing it out for the one. You're clearing it out for everyone. We are the healers of Earth as we do this. Now, do the other people walking around have any idea this is going on? No. But suddenly conspiracy theory is something they can handle. Whereas 5 years ago, no one wanted to talk about it. They were afraid. Suddenly, you're allowed to say, hey, I don't know if my doctor's really serving me in the best way. Maybe I should seek. That maybe wasn't always something we could trust, but because the healers are doing this work, humanity's waking up. Suddenly people are being like, yeah, maybe I should be eating organic. Yeah, maybe it's not so good to have GMOs anymore. Maybe we should speak up, you know, for things that we didn't speak up for. You understand what I'm saying, right? Everyone with me? Okay, I hope that's helpful. Makes sense, the DNA? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, I just want to say something briefly about the laws, universal laws, and then we got to take a break so that we can get the healing part. In 5D, we are governed, in 3D, we're governed by laws. Yeah, what kind of laws in 3D? Yeah, human laws, right? Government laws, and those laws can be? Unfair. That's a belief system, but it's true. I mean, I'm with you. That's a perspective. But they can be broken. They're just laws. They're not real. They're just some human said this is a law. Some collective said, okay, we'll give our power away to an external authority. That's what we do in this reality. External authorities have power over you. So you follow the law, and these external authorities have no consideration of whether or not it's actually serving. They're only interested in serving themselves, right? Actually, these external authorities in this reality absolutely understand the universal laws, and they're working with them for their own higher purpose. But they're limited by them, too, because they're not working under really the law of one. I mean, they are, but they're not working in the highest and best, so they're limited. But nonetheless, we understand this concept of laws here, right? Now, there are other laws that govern this reality, which you can't change, and those are what kind of laws?
Universal.
Laws of nature. So we can't break laws of nature. If I drop this, gravity's going to pull it down. That's a law of nature. And it is a real law in the third dimensional paradigm. It's not a universal law. Because obviously, for the example with gravity, you leave our reality here, gravity doesn't count anymore, right? So natural laws govern 3D, but they aren't universal laws. They still can be broken, but not within our natural paradigm. Universal laws are super important, really important. Here's the thing about universal laws. Universal laws cannot be broken. They cannot be broken. They govern our entire universe and the other planetary bodies that we share our universe with. Other star beings live by these laws as well. And in order for us to anchor into 5D and really live in 5D, we have to know the universal laws. Not only know them here, we have to really live by them. So I don't have time to go into all of them, but what I will say is some of the most basic ones is law of cause and effect is one of them. So if I throw this at you, you will get hurt. That's the law of cause and effect. If I steal something, law of cause and effect, I will be stolen from. So over here, nobody knows that. But it happens nonetheless. It still governs that. They don't realize if you steal from someone, you will be stolen from. That is the universal law. Over here, if you give something great to someone, like a $100 bill, it will come back to you with equal or greater force. That's actually true. It's a universal law. That's why the richest global elites all have not-for-profits set up, because they understand if they give it away to a not-for-profit, the universal law will return it to them times 10 to 100. What are the laws that govern that? Cause and effect is one. What else? Well, tithing's not a law. Law of radiation. So you radiate something out from you, and it's universal law, so it applies to everything. If I radiate out love, law of radiation, I'm radiating it out to me. If I radiate out money or wealth or prosperity, I'm radiating it out. Now, law of circulation, it's going to circulate around, circulate through the field. That's a law of circulation. So if I radiate out love, other beings are going to experience love. There's going to be more love. Law of amplification, it's going to amplify. Amplification, acceleration. And law of, this is the famous one, you guys know it. Attraction. Attraction, it's going to attract back to me. So if I give out money, wealth, abundance, joy, love, happiness, peace, not only does it circulate around, because everyone else is affected by it, now it's going to amplify. There's going to be more love, more joy, more peace, because they're going to feel it, and they're going to fuel it with their own creator energy. And then it's going to be attracted back to me. Can you see over here how beautiful that is? Can you see over here what, if you're radiating out something like anger, hate, resentment, judgment, blame, the law still applies. Now, can you see how that could cause illness? that could cause disease. If you're angry, if you're resentful, if you're wounded, if you're pissed off, if you feel like you've been screwed, and that happens in this reality, that's what this reality is all about, because it's fear-based reality. That's what vibrates in harmony with fear. Make sense? So over here, part of freeing and liberating ourselves is consciously choosing love and forgiveness, love and peace, love and well wishes. Even though we might get upset, even though we might get entangled, even though we still make conscious choices to free and liberate ourselves by choosing peace, love, forgiveness. If it's not authentic, we still have to process through it. Then we go to a neutral person or someone we trust or our own higher self to work it through so we don't have to stuff it so that it doesn't become disease, right? But these are the laws. Make sense? So, all right, coming back to the laws. So we talked about law of radiation, law of circulation, law of amplification and acceleration, law of attraction, law of one. So that means whatever we do within the law of one, we're doing it for ourselves and for everyone, because all are one ultimately. That's the law of one. What other law of cause and effect we talked about? You have to understand, if you do something harmful, there's an effect to that, right? And you're going to ultimately experience that harmful thing, right? That's law of cause and effect. Law of creation. You are the creator. This is an important one. Over here, you're not the creator, you're the victim. You're at the effect. You think you're the effect. Outside in living, right? The outside is to blame. But over here, in order to really anchor in here, you have to know you're the creator. You create your reality. You create, everything is emanating from you, radiation, emanation. Make sense? So those are just some of the major laws, but as you start to incorporate them and learn them and practice them and witness them in your reality, you see how they work. They serve you. But over here, they don't even help us because we don't even know they exist. Make sense? Is that helpful? All right, I'm going to take a break. Let's take a break. I want to say a couple things before we do. Like 10-minute break. First, these are flyers that will help you understand. I'll explain them when we get back. There's my business cards, but these flyers tell you about some of the things coming up. And I just want to make a quick announcement that on Thursday, May 10th, I'm doing an event. Does anyone know Sarah Spiritual Expedito Center? I'm doing an event over there on animal communication, telepathy. Someone over here asked about animals. And energy healing with animals, so if you want to attend that. And if some people asked about my membership, my annual membership, if you want to know about that, there's flyers. There's other ones up here. And then, where is the board, the clipboard with the names and the email? Who hasn't gotten that? So can you make sure I mean, if you want to stay in touch with me, and like I said, I give a lot of really great free gifts with it, and I'm very, very generous. So you will love that stuff. Meditation and stuff. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break. Is that good? Yeah. This is the healing meditation part. Let me just set you guys up with success. Oh, I forgot to tell you one other thing I got to say. On Tuesday night of this week, and you'll know this if you're on my newsletter list, my community list, I'm doing what's called the Sacred Government Circle, right? In the Sacred Government Circle, what it is you see, humans over here in this third dimensional paradigm think we're powerless because the government doesn't listen and there's a conspiracy and you didn't make the laws and you can't change the laws and no one's listening anyway, right? Because it's all corrupt. I mean, we're carrying around massive amounts of powerlessness about changing our reality. Whether you're conscious of it or not, we're all carrying that around. Like, we don't have the ability to change our reality. And we've been so suppressed and oppressed. Nobody's listening anyway. There's nothing you can do. You just walk into the grocery stores and the gas stations and everybody's carrying it. I mean, it's just so obvious that people just feel like they have no ability to make any change. Does this resonate? Okay, but that's not really true because there's a law of intent, consent, and authority, another universal law. And over here, nobody knows that the law of intent, consent, and authority is paying attention to you. Nobody knows when you say, oh, I can't do anything about it, it's just never going to change. The law of intent, consent, and authority is saying, okay, that's your free will choice. That's your choice. So you're creating problems here and contributing to it through that powerlessness. But as we wake up, we realize with these laws and the way energy works that we have great power by just even using the simple law of intent, consent, and authority to say and to energetically vibrate with that which we desire, right? And as we work with the laws and the law of one, I didn't talk about the law of truth. That's another law. The law of truth will always give us truth, right? It'll follow our truth. It'll work with us with the highest truth, and also it'll honor our truth, whatever our truth is, even if our truth is wrong. Even if our truth is untrue, it'll either correct us and redirect us, or it'll allow us, because it's working with the law of intent, consent, and authority, aka the law of free will. Does this make sense? I'm saying it's too fast, or it makes sense, yeah? So the point is, on Tuesday night, the Sacred Government Call, it's only $11, it's by webinar, and I would invite you all to participate, because in these circles, it's where we work with the laws consciously to create the reality for humanity. Because we are the sacred government. We are the sacred government. We are the ones who decide what the future will be for humanity. And the reason we are the ones is because we are conscious enough to work with these laws, to know that they exist, to use energetic vibration, to align with these energies, and to create a future that is based on, not only is it harmonious with these energies, but it's based on freedom and liberation for all, that it's based on what is for the highest and greatest good of all with harm to none. And we will co-create that together. We will make that, because we have great power. But we have to get together, we have to use that power. So anyway, that's what that call is. And I don't think there's a flyer there, but as long as I have your email address, and it's on my website, you can join us Tuesday night, right? It's by webinar. And everything I do, it's always recorded, so you get to own it, even if you can't be there live. All right, so let's talk about tonight. We're going to start with like less than a minute of a singing bowl with lovely Lauren, who's going to play it for us at the Crystal Bowl. And then this is going to be about an hour. Connie, will you see if you could turn down dim these lights just a little bit? Sure. Maybe not too much, because I have the camera on anyway. And you'll see, I'm going to lead you through it. And it's going to be about an hour, so please, again, no phones, and ideally you're in it to stay for the hour. It'll last an hour, but you won't even realize how fast it goes, I don't think. And you'll be able to raise your hand and ask for anything. You'll hear me prompt you. But here's what I want. If you're in the room right now, I want you to set your intention right now that you will receive the maximum benefits through this evening that are for your highest and best good, and for the highest and best of all beings concerned with harm to none. You set your intention, you're in the power seat. You will receive that which serves your highest and best, and only that which serves your highest and best in the highest and best and most benevolent ways possible with harm to none. That's our group intention, and that's our individual intention. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Yes, good. This makes you actually get the benefits. And one last thing before we go into this, which is this. What I've learned about this kind of healing, it's not like Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. I do all kinds of different kinds of energy healing. I love all kinds of energy healing. But it's not going to leave you most likely in this state. It's not like that. What it is we're working with your consciousness to shift you from thinking, feeling, behaving, believing that you're in this boxed-in paradigm, to expanding your conscious to knowing and vibrating in harmony and having higher truths from Source's truth. So you'll hear me say that a lot. Let's give you Source's truth, point of view, and PUD. POV and PUD means point of view and perspective, understanding, and definition. That's where we're literally making your truth God's truth. God gives you and instills within you God's truth. The highest truth, clearest, purest truth of the divine becomes your truth. And when you have that, you can't be fooled anymore about stuff. You know what you know. It's not my truth, it's God's truth. So you'll hear me say these things. And the point is that when you get up and walk away at the end of the night, you won't necessarily feel like anything's changed that much. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But it's going to change you dramatically and permanently. It is permanent. And it's only, as is for your highest and best, right? So a lot of times you don't even realize the results until weeks later, sometimes days later, whatever is in divine timing. Okay, make sense? Everyone ready? Okay, good. So let's start with a prayer, and then I'll just give you a cue. And start with a prayer that we call in Divine Source, Creator of all that is, the highest, clearest, purest consciousness of original source, the original source of creation, the original source of everything that ever has been, everything that ever will be, everything that is, all that is. Infinite love, infinite light, infinite wisdom, infinite peace, infinite joy, infinite consciousness. We call in this infinite consciousness to be with us here and now, to surround us, to infuse us, and to anchor its love in, through, and around us. Anchor its consciousness in, through, and around us. Anchor its peace in, through, and around us. To be here now, we also call forward each and every one of our own inner self, high selves, our beloved beings of light, love and light, spirit doctor team, benevolent galactic shamans whose only desire is to serve, support, and assist in the highest and best and most benevolent ways possible. Benevolent masters, angels, angel gods, archangels, ascended masters, and divine teachers of love and light. We call you forward here and now to be with us this evening and to assist us in the highest and best and most benevolent ways. We give thanks for all we are about to receive. We give thanks and we let it be. So is it. So it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, one last thing I forgot to say. If you hear anything you don't want, at any point you just simply say, no thanks to that. Your free will is always in control. All right, good. So while we just listen to the first part of the crystal ball, I just want you to start breathing. Deep, comfortable, full breaths. So in through the nose, and fill up the entire chest, the entire back, the entire rib cage, the entire belly. Fill up the body with breath as big and full as you can. Deep, full breaths. And then exhale slow, long breaths. Whatever is most comfortable for you at your own pace. Big, full, deep breaths. Long, slow exhales. And let every breath that you breathe in be the breath of peace and love. So you're breathing in the energies, the frequencies, and the vibrations of peace and love. And you're letting every cell of your body and being be infused with this peace and this love. Love, and you're allowing your eyes to close as and when you feel comfortable. I want you to start to see, sense, or feel without any particular attachment to what it is. See, sense, and feel this breath of love, this breath of peace coming in through your nose and filling up your breathing apparatus with all the breath of peace and love. And I want you to actually start to trace the breath with your consciousness. So you actually feel this breath as it comes in through your nose, and feel it and sense it and see it with your mind, however it is for you, as it goes back to the center of your brain. So breathe this love into the center of your brain. Now, right towards the back and the center of the brain is the cave of Brahman, which houses the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. This is otherwise known as your third eye. Breathe all that love straight back to the center of the brain. Just big breaths. There's no way to do this wrong. No way to do it wrong. You're just breathing in love, breathing in peace, and direct the breath with your consciousness straight to the center rear area of the brain, into the cave of Brahman, to awaken and activate your third eye, your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, the master glands of the body, which open and awaken your inner knowing. Just breathing love in there, breathing in peace. No way to do it wrong. Now with your awareness, as is comfortable for you, travel the breath down now from the brain into the mouth area. Feel yourself breathing love and peace through the breathing apparatus, and breathe it in until it opens up the throat area. So big, wide breaths, comfortable for you, in that throat center, opening up the thyroid center, the high thymus, expanding that throat center, your center of truth and authenticity, just expanding all around your neck, and then breathe deeper, comfortable for you, down the breathing apparatus into the heart. Breathe all the love and peace. Feel it with your mind as it goes in, through, and around your heart. All this love, all this peace, breathing in and through your heart center, infusing your heart center with love and peace. See, sense, and feel the breath, opening up the chest cavity, opening up the lungs, opening up the upper back, the shoulders, the mid-back, breathing in, exhaling as is comfortable for you, and with the mind, travel the breath from the heart center down into the belly. Feel the breath of love as it fills up and expands the belly center. Every organ of the belly infused with the breath of your love and your peace, surrounding and infusing the entire mid-center core of your body, breathing in that love. Now with your mind, as you're breathing in this love, follow the breath down into the reproductive center. Anytime you need to exhale, you just exhale comfortably and feel the breath of the love now. Feel that peace infusing the reproductive center, every part of your reproductive organs, breathing love. Let the love fill and infuse that reproductive center. Feel it, sense it, see it, whatever it is for you. No way to do it wrong. And then travel it down into the buttocks. Breathe, infuse the buttocks with the breath, letting that entire region of the buttocks area be infused with love and peace. And now drop that breath with your mind's awareness. Feel it like a big, huge rope or an energetic cord of love drop down from your tailbone through the floor beneath you. Through the chair, through the floor beneath you. And this love, you're still breathing it now, but you're letting it drop deep, deep down through layers and layers of earth. Through the floor, through the ocean depths, through the ocean floor, through the empty space in the middle of earth. No way to do it wrong. You just keep breathing. And with your mind's awareness, let that breath of love go deep down into the core of the earth. There is a crystalline core where all the crystals of the earth are stored. Let that love wrap in, through, and around those crystals. Let the consciousness of those crystals, crystal consciousness, Christ consciousness, Christ had it too, let that consciousness wrap up that breath and that love, the breath of that love, and now return home to you. So you're just breathing it back up from the center of the earth, through the empty space of the earth, no way to do it wrong, through the ocean floor, through the ocean depths, through the floor beneath you, back up into your buttocks area. Breathe up all that crystalline consciousness, all the breath of love, all the breath of peace, up through the buttocks. Now rise it up, still breathing, just as comfortable and relaxed as you've been. Rise it up into the reproductive center. Open, expand the breath. Deep, full breath, expanding into the core pillar, which is the belly center, mid-back. Expand the breath of that love. Open up the whole area. Just breathing love. Just opening up your energy field. Power center in the middle of the belly, middle of the back. Rise it up with your consciousness. So as you're breathing, you feel it with your mind come into the heart center. Rise it up into the heart center, chest cavity, mid-back. Rise it up now with your mind's awareness into the throat center. Breathe love and peace into the throat, into the mouth, into the neck, the teeth, the whole center of your mouth area. Rise it up now back into the middle of the brain once again. Back in that brain area, just breathing love, breathing peace, straight back to the center of the brain, pineal gland, pituitary gland. No way to do it wrong. You're just opening up your own energy centers. Breathe in love, breathe in peace. Feel it as you breathe it. Now I want you to put all your mind's attention, just keep breathing comfortably, on the top of the brain, the very top of the brain right under the scalp. I just want you to keep breathing love and feel the top of your brain. Just feel the top of your brain. Keep feeling for the top of your brain with your mind's awareness. There you go. Nice. Feeling the top of the brain under the scalp. If you think you don't have it, just keep acting as if. So breathe, top of the brain, there you go, underneath the scalp. You're going to notice a kind of either pressure or tingling or a lightness, some kind of expansion. If you think you don't have it, just do it again. No way to do it wrong. Breathe, feel and sense the top of the brain right under the scalp. There we go, nice. So when you hear me make these funny noises like this, it's because energy is shifting, density is moving out of the way, and we're just returning it back to source, to be reabsorbed with source. So from the top of the brain, I want you to reach energetically. So your eyes are basically closed, and you're just energetically still breathing in the love, the peace, but now reach for the ceiling energetically, as if you're just going up, 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 past the ceiling now into the sky, up, 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 just reaching, breathing. No way to do it wrong. Go way past the sky, go past all the stars, go past all the planets. No way to do it wrong. Just keep breathing, reaching, up, 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 as high as you can, until you get as high as you possibly can, and then go reach even further, even beyond all the stars, beyond all the planets, beyond the galaxy, as high and light as you possibly can, breathing in love, reaching beyond all beyonds. And somewhere, somehow, some way, you're going to feel really light. And even if you're not, just keep reaching higher. No way to do it wrong. You may see, sense, or feel some kind of window or door, or lightness, or just a lightness of being. And whatever that is, allow yourself to just merge with it, align with it. It's perfectly fine. And if you're feeling floaty or flighty, that's fine too. You can feel your body again and breathe some more love. So I'm going to pause for a moment and ask Source where it wants to begin. Okay, good. So first thing we're going to do is remove all the energetic density. Energetic density. So I translate first, then you're going to give your permission. Energetic density associated with 3D, third dimensional fear vibrations. All fear vibrations of the third dimensional reality, which are no longer serving you, which are no longer supporting you in your new paradigm. Those densities, drosses, heavinesses, fear-based energetic frequencies will now be lovingly, kindly, benevolently located, lifted, removed, dissolved, and taken away, transformed into love and light. Does this mean you'll never experience fear again? No. Does it mean you'll be lesser, lighter, lesser in burden, lighter in heaviness? Yes. If you're willing to receive this healing now, with and from Divine Source, to gently, lovingly lift, remove, and dissolve and take away this fear-based energy, please breathe and receive. That's all you need to do. You say yes, thank you in your mind or out loud. Good to go. When you hear me do that, it's just density moving out of the way. Let's go. Yes, nice, thank you. Now you're just noticing whatever you notice. Whatever you notice is fine. There's nothing in particular to notice. There we go, nice. Notice whatever you notice. There's no wrongness. Most likely you'll notice a little lighter. You're a little lighter. Good. Following truths will now be instilled within you and within every cell of your body and being with your consent. This is coming straight from Source. I'm worthy and deserving of love. I know myself to be a worthy and deserving being. I'm a worthy and deserving being. I experience myself and my reality as being worthy and deserving. I'm worthy and deserving of being worthy and deserving. I'm worthy and deserving of the healings I am about to receive today. I'm worthy and deserving of being worthy and deserving of healing. I'm worthy and deserving of love. I experience my life and my body and being as worthy and deserving. I experience my life and my body and being as love. I know myself as love. I am love. I am loved. I embody the energetic frequencies and vibrations of love. I am in harmony with being worthy and deserving. I am in harmony with love. If you'd like to have these truths instilled within you and within every cell of your body and being, now is the time to breathe and receive and give consent with a yes, thank you. Yes. Yes. So you're just breathing and noticing whatever you notice. Source does the work, right? This is what changes the energetic vibration of every cell of your body and being. These truths are not necessarily and typically not often the truths. In fact, they are rarely the truths of those who are embodied in the third dimensional paradigm. This is part of the basic core needs, core necessities for anchoring into 5D. Fully integrating. Thanks. So when you hear me say fully integrating, Source is just completing the session of that aspect. Okay, ready to move on now? Source. Good. So, ready to receive requests per your request, and those will be honored as is raised up. So, any hand that just raised and make a request, just one person at a time. You can just say.
Pelvic floor healing.
Pelvic floor healing. So, I'm going to pause and ask Source what it wants me to translate and provide. Good. At the root cause and the basis of this pelvic floor healing request that you have requested today and asked for, this is based in the second, what you know to be the second chakra, which has to do with the balance of feminine and masculine energy. Happens to do with balancing out your divine feminine and your divine masculine. You, dear one, who have made the request, are in predominantly masculine energy, surrounded with predominantly masculine energy, knowing yourself as the divine feminine, the anchor of the feminine in your reality, and as such, it is your job in your lineage to anchor in and balance the embodiment of both these energies. It is true indeed that every human on planet Earth must balance these energies. As they are balanced and integrated, you will find that the pelvic floor is stronger indeed. I'm pausing to listen. I think that's all that's needed to be said there. So, good. The healing that's going to come through here is a balancing of masculine and feminine energies, and also strengthening the feminine, the divine feminine within you, remembering that each and every body, regardless of masculine or feminine body gender, requires a balance of feminine and masculine for this time in your linear. So therefore, that is the healing that will be done. Let me translate more effectively. Balancing feminine and masculine. Knowing that it's safe. Good. It's safe for me to embody both my feminine and masculine energy. It's safe for me to embody the masculine and feminine aspects of myself. I choose, desire, and intend to embody the feminine and masculine aspects of myself with ease, grace, and benevolence. I'm willing and able to embody the feminine and masculine aspects of myself with ease, grace, and benevolence, and always in the highest and best ways. Okay, good. So if you are willing to, please allow to have Source instill these truths within you and within every cell of your body and being, and simultaneously balance out the feminine and masculine energies within you, bringing balance to both the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the body, and being particularly in the second chakra area, which is the reproductive area of the body. This is a time to breathe and receive and allow and consent with your conscious free will. So you're breathing and receiving, noticing whatever you notice. There's going to be a few moments here. Spirit Doctor Team, Benevolent Galactic Shaman stepping forward, also assisting in this co-creative effort to balance out feminine and masculine energy. So benevolent beings in the non-physical realm assisting here. Not that Creator needs assistance, it's just that they participate on a more physical level. Notice whatever you notice. You're just breathing love and peace. That's all you need to do, and then you say yes, thank you with your mind. Nice. Okay, Divine Mother Mary coming through here, bringing in feminine energies for all beings, being the loving goddess of compassion at this time. Further anchoring in the softness and the sweetness of the feminine energy along with the power of the sacred feminine. Other divine goddesses coming forward as well. Kuan Yin, Lakshmi, Abundantia, Guinevere, Mother Mary. Many other divine goddesses coming forward. Sarasvati, Sarasvati, Parvati, Parvati, Lakshmi. Yes. Okay, good. So you hear me laugh like that, it's often because I think it's still going on, and Source is giving me like a joy tap, and it's like, okay, we're done, move on. Sometimes, you know, my left brain doesn't always, okay, that's all right. I don't need to explain. So let's go. We're going to move on here. Next request. I'm going to go over here. Stomach issues. What did I, is that what I heard?
Yes.
Asking Source for guidance on this one. Stomach issues. Stomach issues of which you are referring to here and now have to do with your own personal sense of personal power. Understanding that underneath in the core of the stomach issues is related to your sense of personal power. As it's integrated in with digestive issues, issues related to your own digestion, and also leaky gut, as you might refer to it in the physical reality. Digestion is typically equated to your ability to digest and integrate new information and new energy. The ease and grace and the flow with which you integrate this energy and this wisdom and new information. Leaky boundaries are often related to, pause here, please don't feel the need to know with your left brain what I'm saying. You don't need to listen with the left brain. Let yourself just be in the receiving of it. Thank you. The leaky gut often has to do with feeling as though your emotions are leaking everywhere onto everyone and every place. Feeling as though your emotions are not energetically sturdy within you. Working on balancing the emotional body and also balancing the analytical body, in other words, the mind. This is what will be worked on, so to speak, energetically aligned during this healing aspect, during this aspect of the healing. So, that said, pausing to listen. Okay, bringing the emotional body into stability for all beings. Anchoring in the emotional core into the heart center. For this aspect, as you're breathing in, drop down into the heart center. What does this mean? Drop all of your aspect into the heart. Drop deeper, deeper, deeper into your heart. So you're coming out of being in an expanded state. And you're actually dropping deeper into your heart, so you're just feeling every aspect of your own self collapse into the core of your heart. Within the core, in the deepest realm of your heart, bring everything into the heart. Drop everything into your heart. If you think you're doing it wrong, just let yourself do it again. There's no way to do it wrong. Just keep dropping in the heart. From this place, this is the anchoring point for all the emotional body. In fact, this is the anchoring point for all aspects of your own self. Drop into the heart and continue to breathe. Divine Source Creator now, aligning the emotional core with the core of who you are. Aligning the emotional aspects of your emotional body into your core. Knowing that you are safe to have your emotions. It's safe for you to experience your emotions. And it's safe to express your emotions in a healthy way. And as and when is appropriate, in an appropriate way. These truths will be yours, and your emotional body will be energetically stabilized within your core, with your consent. Does this mean you will not experience emotions again? Quite the contrary. It means you will experience your emotions again as often and whenever they feel appropriate to you, in healthy ways for you, in safe ways for you. If you're willing to receive this healing now, please say yes. Keep dropping into the heart, just breathing into your own heart. Breathe and receive now. Yes, yes, yes. Infinity wave of consciousness coming in. Infinity wave of consciousness is referred to often as what you would see in 8, as a figure 8. When the infinity wave comes in, it's balancing and restoring your energy field, your body and being in this now moment, including the energy field of your own heart center, which of course, it's an aspect of sacred geometry that works with, in, through the divine. So you're just breathing in love into your heart center as the emotional body is stabilized. Also instilling within you and within every cell of your body and being divine source truth, divine source perspective, understanding and definition, and divine source point of view on healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries, making your truth, your point of view, and your PUD one and the same as creators as it relates to the topic area of healthy boundaries. As you haven't experienced healthy boundaries, you will experience your emotions with healthier boundaries as well. If you're willing to receive this now with and from Source's consciousness, making your consciousness aligned with Source as it relates to this topic area of healthy boundaries, please breathe and receive. Give your consent with a yes, thank you. Yes. Noticing whatever you notice is fine. Some of you may notice a slight heart, almost like arrhythmia or bouncing, energetic expansion or a little extra beating. That's perfectly normal. You're getting a light workout, light body workout. Sometimes makes the heart feel as if it's getting an energetic blip or flip. It's perfectly fine. A rebalancing and a restabilizing of the heart center. Good. Personal power. Next topic area on this stomach issue. I know what it feels like to have and experience my personal power in the highest and best ways. It's safe for me to have and experience my personal power in the highest and best ways. I'm worthy and deserving of having and experiencing my personal power in the highest and best ways. I choose, desire, and intend to have and experience my personal power in the highest and best ways for me, my body, my life, my living. I am energetically in harmony with my personal power. I vibrate in harmony with my personal power. I have personal power. I experience personal power. I know how to live my daily life, experiencing my personal power in the highest and best ways for me, my body, my life, my living. If you're willing to receive these truths now and have Divine Source instill them within you, and within every cell of your body and being, so that they are your truths, give your consent, yes, thank you now. Yes, yes, yes. Nice, there we go, nice. Noticing whatever you're noticing is fine. Nice. Good, beautiful. Personal power, digestion. It's easy for me to assimilate new information that serves my highest and best good. I have the Creator's truth, point of view, and PUD of discernment, and mine is the same. I know how to discern in the highest and best ways possible. I'm worthy and deserving of discernment. It's easy for me to discern information. It's easy for me to discern energy. It's easy for me to digest new information. It's effortless for me to digest new information. I digest new information and energy in the highest and best ways for me, my body, my being, my life, and my living. I know how to experience my life digesting new information and new energy with ease, grace, and benevolence. These are my truths. And with your consent, Creator will instill them within you and within every cell of your body and being. Breathe and receive. Notice whatever you notice as you give your consent. You're just noticing. Just notice yourself. Be aware of yourself receiving. That's all it is. You're breathing, you're receiving. Nice. I love my belly. My belly loves me. Please receive this truth as your truth. Yes. There's guidance coming in, and then we'll move on to the next. For any part of your body or being that's experiencing any form of discomfort in any way, shape, or form, always remember to access and acknowledge that part of your body and being in a conscious and deliberate way in the privacy of your own home or your own personal room or space, where you physically acknowledge that part of your being, that part of your body as being relevant, significant, and important in your life and loved. So in the case of the belly center, as has just been brought to the surface, one might put their hand on the belly center and expressly express, overtly out loud express your love, your gratitude, and your appreciation for your own belly and belly center. Indeed, for any part of the body, this is certainly that which will serve you in the highest and best ways. To continually affirm and acknowledge the parts of your body that you love and appreciate, even in spite of your own judgment of those parts of your body, if that may indeed be the case. Even in spite of parts of you which may be in resistance or reaction to those parts of your body, through the expression of love for those parts of your body, you will find very quickly that those parts of your body begin to heal on their own. This is done, so be it. Thank you. Okay, next one.
Throat, joint, and nerve.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to go here and then I'll come on to the side. Throat. Okay, so you're breathing, right? Breathing and receiving. Throat center, asking for guidance on this one. Good. Throat center. Throat center, when there's issues in the throat center, we understand this is directly correlated to your ability to express yourself authentically and in safety and trust. Trusting yourself to express yourself authentically and knowing that you have the ability to express yourself authentically and feeling safe. So these are the aspects of you that we will now address. I know what it feels like to express myself authentically. I know how to express myself authentically. It's safe for me to express myself authentically. I'm worthy and deserving of expressing myself authentically. I have Creator's truth, point of view, and PUD on expression of the self. I have Creator's truth, point of view, and PUD on authenticity, and mine is the same. My truth, my point of view, and my PUD is one and the same as Creator's as it relates to this topic of expression, divine expression, and authenticity. I know how to express my truth in the highest and best ways. I know when to express my truth in the highest and best ways. It's safe for me to express my truth in the highest and best ways. I choose, desire, and intend to express my truth in the highest and best ways. I'm worthy and deserving of expressing my truth in the highest and best ways. Creator of all that is will now instill within you and within every cell of your body and being these truths. If you're willing to receive them with a yes, thank you, breathe and receive. Yes, so whenever we have like thyroid issues, imbalances in the thyroid, teeth problems, jaw problems, this is usually the root, one of the key root causes of those areas we're addressing now. Just breathing, receiving, noticing whatever you notice. Fully integrating now. Okay, good. Nice, thank you. All right, good. So is there something in particular in the throat center that you're aware of that's a problem for you?
Me?
Yes, besides like physically?
A lot of coughing, a lot of sore throat. Yeah, it's everything. Sometimes I don't have voice.
I'm listening.
Just that.
It's okay, I'm listening to Source. Reclaiming your voice, liberating yourself, liberation and sovereignty. Thank you, this is really good for the collective. I understand why I was guided to ask this. So, I reclaim my voice. This will be instilled within you and within every cell of your body being first. So if you're willing to receive that, I reclaim my voice, I claim my voice, I own my voice is mine. I have a right to express. I have a right to express my own voice. These truths will be yours and instilled within every cell of your body and being as your truth with your consent. Please breathe in, receive, and give consent if you're willing. Yes. Good, nice. Okay, second part. It is time for all beings on planet Earth to reclaim their liberation and their sovereignty. When one's voice or any aspect of one's consciousness has been revoked or removed to any degree, and especially and in particular when some form of non-physical being, otherwise known as an entity, has invaded your space, this is without your conscious consent. It's simply because you did not liberate yourself or know that you could. It's simply because perhaps you may not have claimed sovereignty or known that you could. And it may also simply be because you have not claimed single soul occupancy or known that you could. In all three cases, in this particular situation and scenario, this must be claimed. Indeed, it is highly recommended that all beings do this on an ongoing and regular basis. Therefore, we will repeat. Claim sovereignty, claim liberation, and claim single soul occupancy. It's as simple as this. Repeat after me. I claim sovereignty over my life, my body, my being, and my soul.
I claim sovereignty over my life, my body, and soul.
I claim sovereignty and liberation over my body and being.
I claim sovereignty and liberation over my body and being.
I liberate myself from the third dimensional paradigm.
I liberate myself from the third dimensional paradigm.
I liberate myself from any and all oppressors and or controllers.
I liberate myself from any oppressors and controllers.
I claim single soul occupancy now.
I'm a single soul occupancy now.
I'm a single soul occupant.
I'm a single soul occupant.
Let me explain a little bit more about single soul occupancy. At this time on your planet Earth, very often is the case that many non-physical beings looking to find their way to the light and or looking to play games in the third dimensional reality who do not have a body simply hop onto your body, into your energy field. These are often known as entities, and yes, indeed, they are real. And they infiltrate your body, your being, your energy space, and they create dis-ease and disorder in your energy fields. They often affect, very often, your animal companions as well. Understand, by claiming single soul occupancy, the law of intent, consent, and authority steps in and assists that no other entity can invade your energetic space. Please understand here and now as well that as you claim single soul occupancy for yourself, you are also, of your own free will and choice, able to claim it for your own animal companions, never anyone else's, and also for your children under the age of 17 or under, not over the age, not anyone else's children. You have the legal intent, consent, and authority, aka the free will ability to do that. Claim single soul occupancy on an ongoing and daily basis, or an ongoing and regular basis whenever you feel as though you need. Also claim liberation, claim your liberation, and also claim sovereignty on an ongoing and regular basis before you realize that you won't need to do it again in the future after some time, because it will be already affirmed and stated in the reality. The law of intent, consent, and authority will enforce it for you. First, you must claim your right. This is what has just been stated. This is partially the reason and the cause for the lack of the throat, voice, the voice. Partially part of the reason because you've had entities invading your space. They're no longer there. So be it, we're ready to move on. Yes, over here.
Nerve and a lot of joint pain.
Okay, let me listen. How's everyone doing?
Like RA.
Yeah?
Rheumatoid.
Okay, good. Nerve and joint pain. Okay, good. Source. Coming in here. Okay. Saint Germain, stepping forward. Lovely, Saint Germain. So you're breathing and receiving, yeah? Breathing and receiving. So Saint Germain. Okay, amazing. So we also have these guys come in a lot. They show themselves as the 3 M's. Archangel Michael, Metatron, and Merlin's here too, and Melchizedek. So first Saint Germain, stepping forward. Yeah, this is funny?
That was awesome.
Oh yeah, okay, good. So first Saint Germain, just with the violet flame, right? And this is just a matter of just breathing, receiving, and allowing. Because he exists in the non-physical realm. You may or may not see him in your inner consciousness or feel him with our consentist group, using the violet flame to work in, through, and around us as beings of light to assist us in clearing out densities and drosses from in and around the field of our collective at this time, and assisting in taking it all away and transmuting it into love and light. This is how we clear away the density of our reality, part of how we clear. So with our group consent, and of course the consent is given, consent is provided, letting us know that he will be assisting and facilitating as well with the clearing of the denser, heavier energy. Nothing for us to do, just being aware. The 3 M's coming forward here. I'm sorry, we haven't lost the joint, but it's just they came through. So what they would like with your consent is that you put your hands palm up in your lap, facing your hands palm up. Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael, and Lord Melchizedek. Merlin here too, stepping forward, sometimes 4 M's. So in any case, he's here too. So what Melchizedek's going to start, and we're going to go to the joints, but what he's going to start with, if you're willing, is putting the Melchizedek order. It's a stamp of the Melchizedek order on your palm. It's a form of sacred geometry, and Metatron also does the Metatron's cube. So together they go around energetically with your consent, if you don't want to turn your palms down. But what he does is he puts a stamp of the Metatron's cube and Melchizedek order stamp on your palms. These are patterns of sacred geometry that are energetically embedded into your palms. There's nothing you need to do or be aware of, but simply breathe and receive. And notice with the breath of your love and your peace, the palms of your hands, you will feel most likely a slight pressure or a slight tingling. No matter what, it's fine. If you choose not to receive it, just palm facing down. What this stamp, these stamps do as these beings, these benevolent beings, come around, is not only 2 things. Number 1, the patterns of the sacred geometry on your palms will form energetic patterns of perfect sacred geometry, within the energetics of your body and being, which will further assist you in the healing process and in activating your own light bodies, the light bodies within your physicality. In addition, they will awaken healer aspects within you. Nothing for you to necessarily do, but your palms in and of themselves, when you're touching, will be palms of healing, healing hands. You will have healing hands that just happen naturally as you touch another body or being with love. Never ever using it with intention. That is not the necessity, nor the requirement of this, but rather just the awareness that you have the touch of love in your palms. And that when you touch another with love, another will be touched by love, so forth, facilitating their healing journey as well. This is part of the law of one and the alignment of love for the collective. No harm shall ever come to anyone with this, and as you breathe and receive, it shall be done. You simply notice whatever you notice is fine. Nice. Coming back over. Now this is happening, so you're breathing and receiving. This is happening, and we're going to be able to go now to the joints. Joints and ligaments, often an issue as it relates to the flexibility of life. Being flexible in life. Joints and ligaments often become stiff when the experience that a person is having has become flexibility to the point of a problem, or inflexibility in their life to the point of a problem. Knees, joints, ligaments, etc. become tense and tight when a person feels an inability to say no, or to express healthy boundaries, or to express their own personal will or desire, or if they over-express yes, even at times when they'd rather say no. So, what this means on some level is you need to be provided with your consent, the ability, the knowing that you have the ability to say yes or to say no as is appropriate for you in the highest and best ways, and that it's safe for you to do so, and that you're willing, ready and able to say yes or no for yourself in the highest and best ways, that you're worthy and deserving of saying yes and or no for yourself as is appropriate and only as is for the highest and best of yourself with harm to none. If you're willing to receive this knowing and everything else you're meant to receive on this topic area related to flexibility, knowing how to be flexible and when to be flexible in the highest and best ways for you, for your body, for your life, for your living, and to have flexibility with and from Creator's truth, point of view, and PUD, that your truth, your point of view, and your PUD will be one and the same as Creator's as it relates to the topic area of flexibility. Please breathe and receive. Yes, I'm worthy and deserving of being flexible, and I'm worthy and deserving of being inflexible. Serves, I'm sorry, what was that? Worthy and deserving. It's safe for me, sorry, thank you. Safe for me to be flexible when it's appropriate. It's safe for me to be inflexible when it's appropriate. Thank you to my knees, thank you to my joints, thank you to my ligaments for helping me be flexible when it's appropriate and inflexible when I need to be. Only as is for my highest and best. Let's just have clear, sorry, thank you. Translating a little better here. The source is now going to locate from within and around your body and being all that which you would call calcium deposits, which are non-beneficial to you. All aspects of tightness and rigidity which are non-beneficial to you, your body, and being. All density, all dross associated with calcification, with inflexibility, which is non-beneficial, with rigidity, which is non-beneficial to you, your body, your being. Source will now locate and identify this now from within and around your morphogenetic field, the ever-changing, ever-morphing field of your energy, space, body, and being. As it locates this, all of this, it will also identify with your consent all points of view, perspectives, beliefs, belief systems, belief structures, judgments, opinions, frequencies, energies, vibrations, which are non-beneficial to you, related to this topic area. And as it does, it will most lovingly, most benevolently lift, remove, dissolve, and take them all away and transmute it into love and light. Archangel Michael stepping forward just after this. With your consent, breathe, receive, and say, yes, thank you. Nice. Just noticing whatever you notice. All the density and all the dross, lifted, removed, dissolved, taken away, transmuted into love and light. Healing on the history level wherever it first began. Understanding that joints and ligaments often store up unresolved tension associated with anger, resentment, typically anger, frustration, and feeling that tension of needing to be, not being able to fully process the anger, the resentment, that tension. This energetic frequency will now be located, lifted, removed, and dissolved, and taken away and transmuted into love and light, including all points of view, perspectives, ideologies, frequencies, energies, vibrations, judgments, opinions, which are non-beneficial to you, your body, your being, your life, your living, as it relates to this topic area. If you're willing to receive this healing now, please breathe, receive, and give consent. Yes, just noticing whatever you notice. And doing this for your body and being on all layers and all levels and all aspects throughout your genetics. In fact, I have Archangel Michael here. I have not forgotten you. In fact, let's do the healing we've done tonight so far throughout all your bloodlines, as is uniquely appropriate for each individual and with harm to none, under the law of love and the law of one. Throughout all your bloodlines in a 777 activation, 7 generations into your past, 7 generations into your future, 7 generations on the horizontal axis. That means your cousins and your cousins' cousins will receive the gifts of the healings that we've done this evening, as is for their highest and best good and the highest and best of all beings concerned with harm to none, and only as is uniquely appropriate for each individualized body and being. If you're willing to give this consent as light workers, this is an appropriate healing and one with which the law of one will allow and consent. So give your consent. Yes, thank you is all we need. Good to go. Good to go. Yes. Thank you, thank you. Notice whatever you notice. Nice. Nice, thank you. Okay, good. You got that. Okay, Archangel Michael, waiting very patiently here. Archangel Michael would like to activate your light wings. So behind your shoulder blades are 2 energy centers, often referred to as higher level chakras, which very few people are aware of in their consciousness. Nonetheless, there are energy centers behind each of these 2 shoulder blades, left and right side. Behind these energy centers are known as your light wings. Oftentimes, human beings carry pain and or discomfort in their shoulders and their upper back behind the shoulder blades. As these energy centers are opened, your light wings come out and expand from you. You'll not see these on a physical level. However, they will enable you to feel lighter in your reality. They will enable you to feel the lightness of your being and experience yourselves as light body beings. There's no harm that can come from this. There's simply the lightness of being. For your evolution, the evolution and expansion of humanity is becoming light body beings. We're all activating our light bodies. So Archangel Michael, with your consent, will open these energy centers behind your shoulder blades. And you'll feel a sense, perhaps, you may feel a sense of lightness behind that part of your body. Light wings will spring gently, lovingly, and gracefully. You'll never physically see them. They're etheric and non-physical. If you're willing to receive this from Archangel Michael, you simply give your consent and say, yes, thank you. So, there's directions for this as you're breathing. Start to put your mind's attention, breathing in love, on the back of your left shoulder. Just breathe love to that area. Notice as you do the lightness behind the left shoulder blade. If you don't notice lightness, that's fine. Just notice whatever you notice. Breathing in love into the back of the left shoulder blade. Let love open this energy center gently, lovingly, and benevolently. And to the right side of the shoulder blade. And even if you're not noticing necessarily anything in particular, just notice whatever you notice. Just notice yourself breathing in love to the back of the right shoulder blade. Thank you. And Archangel Michael's work will continue throughout this evening. Nothing to do, simply giving your consent and allowing is enough. Okay, good. All right, we have time for like a couple more. Let's go here.
You wanted me to remind you.
What was it?
It was related to the Lyme disease. But
Lyme disease.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Source will now locate and identify any and all beliefs, points of view, perspectives, ideologies, frequencies, energies, vibrations, entanglements and snarlements, attachments, encordments of nothing I ever do is good enough. Nothing I ever do will ever work. I've done it all and nothing works. Everything having to do with this concept, nothing will ever work for me. Nothing works. No matter what I do, nothing works. No matter what I've ever done, nothing will ever work. Every single aspect of this creation, all beliefs, points of view, as were mentioned, everywhere you created it, everywhere you co-created it, everywhere you consented to it, everywhere you allowed it, everywhere you believed it and or bought into it, that nothing will ever work. No matter what you do, nothing will ever work. Everything you've done has never worked. All of this and even more, everything it's connected to, entangled with, and ensnarled with will now be located and identified. All non-beneficial and all non-benevolent aspects of this will be identified from your entire morphogenetic field throughout all layers and all levels of your body and being, all aspects of your consciousness. As they are identified, they will be most lovingly lifted, removed, dissolved, taken away, and transmuted into love and light. And healing on the history level, that means at the point of origin, will begin and will perpetuate and continue until the healing is done and complete for your highest and best. If you're willing to receive this now, please breathe and receive. Give your consent. Nice. Notice whatever you notice is fine. Nice. A few more downloads on this topic area. I have the ability to stand up for myself. I know how to stand up for myself. I'm worthy and deserving of standing up for myself. It's safe for me to stand up for myself. I have the ability to protect myself in the highest and best ways. It's safe for me to protect myself in the highest and best ways. I'm worthy and deserving of protecting myself in the highest and best ways. I know how and when to protect myself in the highest and best ways. I have Creator's truth point of view and PUD on protection, and mine is the same. I have the ability to immune myself. I don't know if that's the word that's being given me. I know it's not grammatically correct, but I have the ability to immune myself. My immunity is strong. There's strength in my immunity. I am immune. The vibrational frequencies within me are of a vibrational frequency that makes me immune to lower, denser, heavier frequencies and vibrations. I have immunity. I've Creator's truth point of view and PUD of immunity, and mine is the same. My truth, my point of view and my PUD is the same as Creator's as it relates to the topic area of immunity. There is immunity in my body and being. I'm worthy and deserving of immunity. I'm worthy and deserving of being worthy and deserving of immunity. I have immunity. I am immune. I'm in vibrational harmony with immunity. I'm in vibrational harmony with standing up for myself. I'm in vibrational harmony with speaking up for myself. I'm in vibrational harmony with defending myself in the highest and best ways possible for the highest and greatest of all beings concerned with harm to none. If you're willing to receive these truths now, please breathe and receive. Oh God. There's a lot of density moving now. Yes. Let this and all healing as well continue through the 777 generation activation, as was stated before. Breathe and receive. Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, there's more here to do. For now, this will be enough for now here. We can do one more before the evening closes. One more.
Filter organs,
Liver.
kidneys, etc. Filter organs.
Liver. I know how to process my emotions. It's safe for me to process my emotions. I know how to handle toxicity. Ah, thank you. I'm immune and impervious. Source would like to download and instill within you and within every cell of your body and being immune and impervious. Creator's truth, point of view, and PUD on immunity and imperviousness. Creator's truth, point of view, and PUD will be yours on immunity and imperviousness. In other words, I'm impervious to toxicity. I'm impervious to toxic chemtrails, for example. I'm impervious to toxicity in the world. I'm impervious to toxic emotions. I'm immune to toxicity. I'm immune to toxic chemtrails and other toxic experiences. I'm immune to toxic emotions. I know how to process toxicity. I know how to process toxic emotions in the highest and best and most benevolent ways possible. These truths will be yours and instilled within you and within every cell of your body and being with your consent. It's safe and easy for me to be immune. I'm worthy and deserving of being immune. I'm worthy and deserving of being impervious. I'm worthy and deserving of being impervious to things which are non-beneficial to me. I choose, desire, and intend to be impervious to things which are non-beneficial to me. I choose, desire, and intend to be immune to things which are non-beneficial to me. I am impervious. I am immune. I am aligned with the energies, the frequencies, and the vibrations of imperviousness. I am aligned with the energies, the frequencies, and the vibrations of immunity. If you're willing to receive these truths now, please say yes, breathe, and receive. All right, so in 5D, there's a lot of toxins in the world, but they don't even affect you. It's not just wishful thinking. Nice. Just keep breathing, noticing. Just a little more and we're going to wrap. I know how to filter through things that serve me in the highest and best ways. It's safe for me to filter through things which serve me. It's safe for me to filter out things which are non-beneficial to me. I choose, desire, and intend to filter things out which are non-beneficial to me. I choose, desire, and intend to filter things out which are non-benevolent for me. All of this in the highest and best ways, and as is for my highest and best good. If you're willing to receive these truths, please say yes, breathe, and receive. Yes. Just a little more here. There's something else that needs to come through. I lost it. I'm sorry. Please bring it back. It says there's something else that there's much more that wants to come through. However, your group is tired, so it's pulling back. So all right, so we're going to wrap for the evening. I've got this last one. Just that what we're going to do here is all that breathing and receiving that you did. I want you to just remember that lightness, whatever you've experienced, whatever you felt tonight, whatever you witnessed, whatever personal experience you had. I just want you to bring yourself back down from that lightness, wherever it was, and back down into that heart center. Now, as you do this, there's no way to do it wrong. You're just reclaiming every aspect of yourself and calling it back into your heart center. So you're breathing still the love and dropping into your heart center. If the brain thinks You drop down into the heart center, every aspect of you. And as you do this, we're just going to have Divine Source, Creator God of all that is, the highest, clearest, purest consciousness of infinite love and light, return to you, the rightful owner, all of your disembodied and fragmented soul aspects, home to you now, reunited into your heart center. You're just breathing and dropping into the heart center. But before it does, before it returns all these disembodied aspects of your soul and fragmented aspects of your soul returned home to you, the rightful owner, it will first cleanse, bless, bathe, purify, harmonize, and divinitize all these aspects in the love and light of God and restore them to you, home to you, the original rightful owner. Not only cleansed, blessed, bathed, purified, harmonized, and divinitized in the love and light of God, but also restored to you with Creator's consciousness. The consciousness of the Creator instilled within you and within every cell of your body and being, awakened from within you. Now, if you're willing to receive this reunification, that all aspects of you benevolently returned home to you, the rightful owner, your soul fragments, this is a time to breathe and receive, remembering that all aspects are first cleansed, blessed, bathed, purified, harmonized, and divinitized, and returned to you as source consciousness. Now breathe and receive as this is done. A million bazillion lost souls returning home. This is what it means when we say lost souls returning home to us. You receive that which is yours and only that which is rightfully yours, and no one else's, nothing else from anyone else, only that which is yours. Returned home. The reunification. Nice, thank you. Now one last piece before we finish. Remember, you're dropping into your heart even more, every moment dropping into the heart. In the moment that you're dropping into your heart, as you continue to drop into your heart, every aspect of you just dropping deeper into the heart center. Around you now, around your entire physical body and being, and also including all aspects of you, emotional, physical, mental, energetic, auric, light body, the whole kit and caboodle is the words that are given. That's funny. There is surrounding you gold, not golden light, actual gold, that your body and your embodiment is contained within perfect, pure gold. You don't need to see, sense, and feel it. You simply need to know it and let it be done. Around the gold is pure, perfect platinum. Pure, perfect platinum around the gold. You don't need to see, sense, or feel it. You just simply need to know it is done. It is done for you now. Around the platinum is perfect, pure crystal. Perfect, pure crystal surrounding your entire body and being, and the layer of gold around you and the layer of platinum around you. This perfect, pure crystal is surrounding your entire embodiment, all layers and all levels of your embodiment, your emotional, physical, mental, energetic, auric, spiritual, and other layers which need not be mentioned at this moment. This crystal is encapsulating you in perfection, the divine perfection of who you are, and it is the highest truth of your own personal protection. Not that any protection is ever really needed, but simply that you are an embodied being walking around in physical form. This shall be done now, and it is done. Now with that stated, and as it is mentioned, there is no one else's energy in your field but your own and the divine source creator God within you. Any moment you feel ready, physically allow yourself to physically feel your body and begin to comfortably stretch any and all parts of your body, gently, lovingly, comfortably, allowing yourself to remember and come into the full physical sensation of the vibratory state of your embodiment. No one has floated anywhere. No one has gone anywhere. All you have done is come back home more fully into your physical embodiment. Stretch out, and as you are ready, allow yourself to open. Okay, so while you guys are coming back physically present, before we wrap, I need to say something I forgot to say. I do this as a gifted event for the community, but Unity Church has some fees, to operate. So if you're willing to donate, it all goes to them. I don't financially taking it, but anyway, we'll pass this around. Are you okay to pass it around? You guys can just tap. It's good if you can stay with it if you don't mind. Or else Connie's always good at stuff like this. She's a good money lady. So if you don't mind, that's so, I know they really appreciate it to help with their expenses. So how is everybody before we say goodnight? How's everyone doing? Awesome. Does anyone have any final wrap-up questions? Not so much about, you know, just about your experience or anything? The video? You will have access to the video if I have your email address and your name, and as long as I can read it.
You have it.
Did you put it on there?
Today.
You need to put it today. Well, actually, if you're on my newsletter, I'm sure I'll release it to the whole newsletter too. Thank you. Because I'm going to put it on YouTube, so you'll still get it. Yeah?
Thank you. Thank you.
Boy, I wish people threw money at me like
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Does anyone else want to comment on anything you experienced or share about anything you experienced so we can just all physically get back in our embodiment? Yeah.
The energy was extremely powerful.
Awesome. I'm glad. This is one thing I know. I've been doing this kind of healing for over 10 years with groups like this. I mean, I used to do it on one-on-ones more. But I just want to say, the healing just began. So even if you think you experienced nothing in here, that's fine. All you needed to do was participate and give consent. The healing just began. That's what's so amazing, because it's going to change your life in a really dramatic, wonderful way over time, divinely. You know what's divinely good for you, so let it work. So when you go home tonight, please don't drive until you feel really in your body, but you should feel pretty anchored. No violence. Violence is not entertainment. That is a third-dimensional programming, reptilian programming, to actually think that violence is entertainment. Violence is not entertainment. Don't watch anything that will manipulate your mind in a non-benevolent way, right? So be loving, be gentle on yourself, take time to love and honor yourself, drink healthy, green juices and waters. You don't need me to tell you that. And vegetables, fruits, nuts are very grounding. And be loving, kind to yourself and others. And other than that, I just thank you so, so much, guys. Thank you.